Hello everyone, welcome back to Danganronpa Lapse. I'm recording this part right after I recorded the last one. We might be close to the end of the game. All I know is that we're about to find a dead body. That's all I know. All I know is that somebody else died, and we're about to find out who. If y'all are ready, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. I got some water with me. Let me take a sip. Ah. Anyways, let's go. The door slid open after what felt like an eternity, and we were greeted with a bloody sight. Cannon! No! A hatchet was buried deep in the back of Cannon's lifeless body. Cannon! No! Not best girl! No! Blood stained the polished floors, the fresh liquid reflected upon the glossy surface, creating a haunting glow in the middle of the foyer. Cannon. Damn it! Missy and Forte bolted out of the lift while I remained frozen in the elevator cab. A sickening metallic odor filled my senses. I felt the cold sweat form on my brow. Missy and Forte were huddled in concern over Cannon's body, but it was clearly no use. She was gone. The body discovery announcement. It said it was in the trophy room. So does that mean the announcement rung for Lyle? Was Say really behind all of this? Both Missy and Forte's clamoring, I heard a sound. Crack. Dread possessed me. Missy! Forte! As the forward chandelier came crashing down on Missy and Forte. You're kidding! They were completely crushed by the chandelier, their bodies lost into the tons of shards and glass. Really? No! I could hardly muster a sound. I was so shocked. Blood and glass littered the floor beneath me. The glistening liquid reflected on the marble floor doubled the terror in my mortified visage. The nightmarish sight brought me to tumbling my knees, dread oozing through every part of my body. My breath was falling out in pieces. My vision became blurry and red from panic. The elevator doors came to an automatic close behind sight of three friends being brutally killed. Ah! Say's the villain! She killed everybody! She killed everybody! Really? Say, dude! I felt the sharp pain compromise my bone. Cracks creaked through my system into blazing pain. Something was sticking on my shoulder. It felt like a bolt. Heat from the pain, its chill from the terror. I felt heavy and weak. To lift my eyes and see what attacked me. My whole body crumpled without a fight. My head knocked back onto the floor, causing me to see stars and... nothing. Say killed all of us. I did it, right? That voice. Follow the rules of the stupid game, so please get me out of here. My prize is freedom, right? I'd say. Aki, please. I know it's your voice, so listen to mine and help me. The ultimate prize, Zero's voice. Didn't want the prize. Zero's voice is weird again. No, killing isn't the answer. What? After Say remorseful crying, won't hear a pin drop. I could feel my heart struggling as my adrenaline rose. Killing isn't the answer? Then what were we doing here? This is wrong. It's all wrong. What was that? Why are you all being very generous right now? Zero's taunting voice rung through the halls once more, his laugh crackling through the speakers. This was like a word of choice, please. Yo! We had a Jimmy Neutron being blast back in 5? That's why the game is called Lapse. That's why the game is called Lapse. We're relapsing back in time. Whoa! Ooh! What? Wait, now we know the code for the door. We know the code for the door. We know the code for the door now. Oh my god! Chat, we might have found Pete. Oh my god. So, if we let Say... So, if Say goes with them, everybody dies. We had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Dog! So, I'm guessing we're going with Lyle and Cannon now. That's why we're the ultimate memory. We see the future? Huh? No, we might have found Pete. We might have found Pete. This is my favorite Danganronpa fan game. Yeah, we're gonna join Lyle. I felt this sense of deja vu, the announcement urging us to split up. The importance of the decision. Everyone was alive. These horrible things actually happened, or did I imagine it? Hey, come on, it's not that hard of a decision. Echo, we need to get going. Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to understand what happened when I went with Missy and Forte. Regardless, I didn't want to experience whatever that was again. Instead, I chose to go with Lyle and Cannon. I'll go with Lyle and Cannon. Bro, this is weak. It was decided. I joined Lyle and Cannon in the first doors. Say joined Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the glass table. That's that. We'll investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here about before 4 p.m. That alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle had already begun walking past the doors before she asked. Cannon silently matched his pace. I hastened to keep up. We stepped through the doorways into the darkness. This is insane! But what was going on? I rubbed my shoulder, reaching for the distant pain that haunted only my memories. Glanced back at the other group. Misty gave a small parting wave before turning down the hallway to do an investigation with Forte and Say. It's like nothing happened. Yo. Mithridate, whatever your name is, you have created Peak. I could only hope nothing awful would happen here. My eyes adjusted to the dim light as we quickly met with the stairs that tumbled down a dark lane. Not a single word was exchanged between the three of us as we trudged down the steps further away from the forest glittering hall. Dying Light reference. Yeah, we already read this in the last episode. Go watch it if you haven't already. After some time, the floor beneath us revealed itself at the bottom of the stairs. The hidden floor we gained access to stood in stark contrast to the previous floors. The lighting was dim. Starshine? Sorry. The walls dark and cool. Regardless, it remained decorated with delicate gold furnishings and familiar service kiosk. Later, the hall divided the room into two equal halves, similar to the main floor. Hey, looks like we can take the elevator back up to the main wing, huh? Probably. But what's the use of going back now? We made a decision to split up and investigate. Look for an exit. That really need to be said. Lyle instructed the two of us, but before anyone could get very far, could hear the unfortunate now familiar speaker crackle. Yeah, we all decided to split up, blah blah blah, already read that, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So memos were given to the same people as before. I'll check back with you folks later. Enjoy your investigation. The announcement ended. Lyle went to the fire desk. Hurried to put herself between Lyle and the kiosk. Not so fast. There's no way I'm letting you see whatever this messed up crap is. How do we know it's going to be bad? Everything in this place has been bad. Nothing but bad, genius. What makes you think this is any of your business anyway? And so, if you watched the last episode, we know that if we go into the trophy room without the code, we get asked a question by Cannon. What makes you think this is any of your business anyway? Lyle rolled his eyes and left Cannon in relative peace, going about his way to search for an exit. Stood by in curiosity as kiosk, climbs a small sheet, blank face up. Hannah rips the sheet out of the receiver, balls it up in her fist, and stuffs it in her pocket. I won't fall for any motives. If I don't look at this thing Zero's trying to tease me with, right? I guess so. If it were anything like Missy's motive, it was likely to be just as disturbing. Let's see, there's a map of current floor, just look as much here. Two long halls paralleled each other at the opposite end of the room. Toward the back, up to the room, and the other... I read all this already. The map of this floor looked the same as the blueprints I saw when I went with Missy and Forte. The other room was still redacted. Wonder what the other room is. It doesn't show on the kiosk map. You know what? I need to, like, tell Bijou Mike to play this on his other channel, because he's gonna love this. Even so, we're here anyway, so we can visit the other room itself to see what it is. She stepped away from the kiosk to explore the underground floor. She passed a few side halls that took a peek in. They were listed as multi-purpose event halls decorated for large gatherings. Large rooms were sparsely decorated with a number of tables and chairs and mopels. The lens halls were pretty, but not so amazing. They were solid look. We already read all this, sorry. Ken and I wandered about, but not for very long. Nothing glaringly strange caught our attention. It was as if the place was never meant to be anything more than recreational. The entire time we explored, Ken kept the distance from me as I pondered with the different moves. Lau was waiting us back when we started. About time you lot caught up. What did you expect? You didn't demand that we all travel glued at the hip. Hey now. Two glared at each other, a palpable tension in the air. So, did you find any sign of an exit? No, the hallway behind me just goes to the shared elevator, not just exit in sight. But I haven't looked in any of those rooms yet. One of the rooms is listed as the trophy room, the other is strangely redacted. Then let's check out the redacted one. My interest is piqued. Three of us approach the unlisted room. Yeah, it's covered up. No nameplate on the door, but it's scratched out. The laser engraving lost underneath the messy hacking. Of course, the name is completely scratched away. Lau rattled the doorknob, but it was locked tight. Our entry blocked by an active keypad. See? Nothing but bad. Keypad's light indicator was red, waiting for a 6-digit code to unlock the door. Wait, 6 digits. Stared at the keypad for a moment, thought back to the strange experience I had not too long ago. 251110. The floor plan booklet listed 5 floors our game was meant to take place in. The details of the 5th floor, our current floor, were torn out. Yeah, on the booklet's back panel there was a writing passed in, writing of 251110. What? 251110. The code. I think it's 251110. I repeat, what? Should I try it? Besides, we have any other leads? You nuts? No! Why not? Echo, you say you're not involved, but knowing the code to a keypad on the floor we've never been to is pushing it, don't you think? This has to be some kind of trick. You're setting us up for failure in that room. No! I don't know how to explain it. I just had a strange memory. When our group was splitting up, I went with Missy and Forte first, and we went to Cyrus's room. It was there that I saw writing of 6 digits. Yeah, right. This is oddly convenient information, don't you think? Only split up once. Where could you possibly find the information? I should tell you, but I don't know. What happened earlier doesn't make sense. It hadn't made a lick sense either. I mean, there was a body discovery announcement, and I think it was you. Stop! Loud voice cut through the air. Echo, I don't understand you. First you turn everyone against Art. Then you do everything to deny Ashley's action against Cyrus? And now you miraculously know the code to this door you've never seen? Just, what on earth are you up to? Give me a reason to believe you're not involved. What's stopping me from believing you're all a part of the act? For not having any remarkable talent to sabotaging trials at each... Hey, hang on. What do you have to gain? What do you have to gain by behaving like this? Is this some kind of twisted ploy to provoke the killing game further? It's enough! You really think I wanted this? Look, I'm just as frustrated as you are. It was never my intention to turn anyone against Art. Circumstances we were in demanded a vote by cast lest everyone suffer the consequence. You really believe I'm an implicit factor in the game? Don't think for a second I wanted any of this to happen. I'm still a complete loss of how I'm even here to begin with. You really think I wanted my best friend to go through the emotional turmoil she went through when she was found out I was in the game? You think I wanted her to die protecting me? Yeah, Lyle. We're all in pain. Suffering is a competition. And I'm sorry that I don't have the answers to any of your questions, but I'm doing my best to combat these desperate feelings. After the second trial, I saw how hurt everyone looked. Not just for my sake, But because we just found ourselves in something horrible and inescapable. I never asked for this. This ultimate student nonsense. And maybe it was selfish to wait to protect Ashley, but what did you expect? You wanted to protect Art, didn't you? Arguing like this isn't going to solve anything. I don't even know if the code will work, much less know what is in the room to begin with. I don't expect you to trust me with it, but it's the only thing we have at the moment. Lila let out a defeated sigh. I'm sorry, too. Just trying to find a reason why the only person who gave me the time of day had to leave so quickly. His voice dropped to a low whisper. I feel like I let Art down. Messed up big time. He was misled by me, thinking Pandora was suspicious. It's my fault, huh? That was no different from me. He was trapped in the impression that his friend's downfall was a direct consequence from his actions. No, it's not as simple as that. No one is singularly at fault. I won't speak on behalf of Art. Given the threat of danger, I'm sure he's just wanted to keep everyone safe. None of us could have known we would end up in this scenario. And Art, least of all, would truly want to cause harm. He strangled Pandora, though. I know. There's no denying that. Did what he... not even pressing anything! It was right to try and end the game. It's hard to say what's right and wrong, but we can only move forward with our best judgment, learn from what we've experienced. We have to try, at least. Right? I'm tired, Echo. I can't sleep. Whether we try to be cautious or take a risk and test the rules, the situation ends up being the same. We're still trapped. Still trapped and doomed to the responsibility of our past actions. We can't change anything that has happened. Cannon stared at the floor absently. Yeah, but there's nothing left to try but this. I just hope you can trust me. Alright. Try the code. I nodded and approached the keypad. Keypad accepted the code, and the sound of a latch being released clicked out. I remember the code. It worked! But a crackle in the air interrupted me as I grasped the door handle. Shoot, did Zero catch us in the act? I was racing. Did I accidentally set something off? I paused, and the three of us stood with bated breath. Hey, just checking with you all. Have fun exploring the new digs. I bet you are. I had fun. Forte and say. There's someone's song. Nothing. You're kind of insignificant. Such a gift as a person, yeah? Yeah. Zero's voice. Gentle taunting piano. Yeah. Oh, Zero didn't say anything about us entering this room. That aside, neither Lyle or I were recipients of Zero's gift. It's a good thing. Come on, Echo. Let's see what's in there already. Oh, right. Shaking thought, I pushed the door open with a slow creak. What the hell? Upon shutting the door, the ominous song ceased its crooning within the room. We found ourselves in a hexagonal, eerie room with full-length capsules like objects creating a centerpiece. There are 6 of them. Standing workstations line the walls, corresponding to the capsule objects on each wall. Miscellaneous monitors and controls filled each section. What is this place? Step further in, our footsteps echoing through the chamber. If I had to guess, considering our killing game scenario, one could say they ought to be a cold room to store bodies. Think this is where they are? No, it only makes sense. This place is hidden behind layers of precautionary security. So it's not a very conventional design in this case. I inched cautiously towards one of the large capsules. There was a small display monitor at the foot of the closed capsule that read stable in bright green letters. Spawning a small viewing window at the head of the capsule, I made my way over and peeked in. That's Guy! Step back to sight. I recalled seeing this person's visage when I was with Missy and Forte. What is it? Lau ran to the window, standing outside of me, his eyes widened. Is that Pandora? The document says otherwise. Last name, though. Hand was holding a medical chart that was hanging near the stable indicator. It's her. My voice was barely a whisper. I stared at her, my vision twisted as I felt my heart start racing. The other announcer Forte had discovered, along with Zero's true identity. The other announcer behind the killing game was right in front of me. Lyle paused and took a look at the person in the capsule. Took out the secret note he had holding and instructed it further. For the word, started latching the capsule. What are you doing? Are we going to take that person out of the capsule? It's the person behind Eve. There's no pin or her shawl on her shawl. That looks just like the Eve announcer symbol and the symbol on the secret note. It could be dangerous. What if she attacks or something? Whatever. There's 3 of us and we only one of her. Stay alert. My latch clicked and cool air rushed out of the cayman. We watched in awe as the glass automatically rose. She looked up as if she were asleep. A steady, barely noticeable rise and fall of her chest indicating a shallow breath. Then Her eyelids twitched. Good morning, Eve. Or should I say, Mrs. Spear? How? Her voice was hoarse, but familiar. The formerly disembodied voice of Eve was now given a definite face. She reached out, but before she could do anything, Lyle stopped her. Hey, what are you doing? Please, I can't bear being in there a second longer. She murmured wearily as she struggled with enormous effort to pull herself up. Come on, Lyle, give me a hand. Lyle grumbled in dissatisfaction, but helped her anyway, guiding Eve out of her containment. She crumpled to the floor, completely fatigued. Are you okay? Whoa! Oh my god. Yeah. I'm going to check out a response. Then I remembered. Here, if you're hungry. Reaching in my pocket, I offered her the jam Danish. She should say it earlier. She actually accepted it, taking only a few bites of stopping altogether. Oh, Pandora, what have I done to you? Blank, somber stare glazed over her tearful eyes. You're Gaia Sparrow, right? How do you know? I don't know how to explain. I still didn't know how to reasonably describe what does this speak? The strange occurrence I had experienced earlier that caused me to know things I shouldn't. Wait, who is this? It's okay. As Echo says, I'm Gaia Sparrow, Pandora's twin sister, like I said last time, who couldn't save her. Twin sister? I explained the striking similarity to Pandora. Save her? Does this mean this note was from you and it's meant to contact her? What's your role involved in this game anyway? Done, you wanted to save her? I thought since you were part of the game that, I don't know, you were working against us. Besides, Gaia sat up against the base of our containment unit. I have a lot of questions. Trying to answer them to the best of my ability. Welcome to the testing chambers. It's a pleasure to meet you all, Echo, Lyle, and Cannon. We gave Gaia some time to regain her strength, so she constantly savored the pastry I gave her. She sat up in a chair at the small workstation as we idly waited. Lyle was noticeably impatient, Cannon still unreadable. So, who are you in context in this game? Unlike Zero, who controls the many aspects of the game, I'm just an overseer. We're able to oversee the entirety of the game from our activity. Whoever is placed in one of these incubators has their consciousness removed from their body and incorporated in the technology of the facility. I was never originally part of this, but seeing as this containment unit has a synonymous framework collecting data from our consciousness and biopsychology, I was able to wedge my way through the basic functions. But I'm concerned. It was Zero's request to open the foyer doors. I think he wanted you to find me in this room. Afraid he has something in store for me. She shuddered at the thought. It was gay. I said it was if what Gaia said was true. Even she wasn't safe. Is this a farce? A bunch of lies to make us believe you're not a threat? Sorry, I cannot provide more details to convince you. You'll just have to keep my word for it. In that case, we're Zero. His body's in one of the units, however. He's in much worse condition. I pointed to one of the other units opposite the hexagonal centerpiece. Lyle and I walked over to the unit and lit a screen critical in red. It was as she said. The visit of Zero was in the unit, but his hair and clothing were different, just like the student profile for Akihiko. It's him. Akihiko Quartz, otherwise known as the Ultimate Radio Host. Zero, the Despair program, infected virus version of Akihiko, has control over malicious threats. I ceded control over general facilities such as the infirmary in an attempt to make contact with participants. That note, it was Pandora's room gift. I composed the note for Pandora, and whoever could recognize the other emblem. Whoever could recognize Zero's, or rather, Akihiko Quartz's emblem. But I haven't had any luck. And I'm not sure Pandora figured it out either. Huh? Gaia doesn't know who the other insider is? Say his profile was attached with Akihiko's after all. Wait a minute. I heard Candace hush muttering. Well, what are we looking for? Huh? Why didn't we just release him from the unit and be gone with this game? That is not advised. It's just Akihiko's body. The only operating the game is Zero, a forked consciousness of Akihiko that has been merged with the Despair program. I don't know how Akihiko's real consciousness is faring. I worry he's too far gone. If we release him, it's possible Zero could malfunction, but it could also kill the host's consciousness. So what? A small price to pay for all the hell he's put us through? No, please, it's not him. It's the fault of the Despair program, the Preservation Project, the ultimate prize. His eyes were dark. All of this charade conducted with appealing precision for the purpose of the ultimate prize, a complete and utter hoax. It's a hoax? I recalled what I heard earlier about before I found myself back at the group split decision. The ultimate prize is freedom, right? The ultimate prize. You don't want it. What is the ultimate prize? I was thinking after my first question, the booming clunk sound through the halls. The lights went out. No! Darkness. Lyle's gift directed from his fears to you. Only murder will lift the darkness. Now, as we short announcement cut out, and we were left to wallow in the void, and it was blanket in black velvet. I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face. What? How is anyone meant to see anything in darkness, let alone do something as calculated as murder? Calm yourselves. You can call the power of his former body is still in the containment unit. You sure? Wait. That aside, Lyle, Cannon, are you okay? There's not a response from either of them, however, I heard a sharp, haggard breathing behind me. It sounded like it was a fit. His voice was tightening. Lyle, are you okay? It's dark. I can't. Hang in there. A fresh brief bled through the darkness. My eyes adjusted to the brightness, and I could see the silhouette of the guy standing 5 feet away from me, holding the light. This should help. Flashlight is an emergency kit below my capsule. Yes, thank you. Took the flashlight and directed the beam toward the wall, allowing the light to bounce and disperse itself through more illumination. Come on, deep breaths. His breaths were broken, but he was making an effort to control his breathing. I tried to comfort him, rubbing his trembling back as he tried to steady himself. Guy and I was trying to kill him. I noticed something strange. Wait, where's Cannon? Cannon? Cloud her got no response. Did she get lost? Damn it, she has to be up to no good. As much as I couldn't help but jump into the same conclusion, I felt there had to be some reason for her disappearance. Say that. As much as we all hated to see the truth in the first trial, Cannon still helped us. And she even gave me the group photo she took after Ash's trial. She probably went to look for the other 3. How'd she possibly see in this pitch darkness? Why didn't she just sit still and do nothing like she always does? I can't say. Just hope she doesn't do something outrageous. Sure, but there's no telling what could happen to her, though. Ugh. Oh no. Body's been discovered on the trial grounds. Isn't that the room we're in? This is your Z, the lights return. Sorry. You aren't appearing in an investigation. No way. Didn't want to believe it. The game carried to take another victim. I gulped. Guy, do you know who was killed? I shifted nervously. Cannot see anymore. You're being removed from the containment unit. I can only do as much as you participants can. It is until I can gain control from the systems here. Guy quickly made herself busy at the workstation, familiarizing herself with the programs and more. This can't be happening. So we have to get up there. I don't know what we'll find, but another death. What else could occur in this damn place? Didn't care if the indignation in her tone, but Lau was right. At this point, it would be foolish to expect anything else than death. I just know that whoever remained was still safe. Let's go. We should try to rendezvous with whoever's left. But her, can we trust she doesn't do anything funny? I was deep in thought. Her sense, in fact, transfixed on our station near Zero's. Go ahead. I've been investigating the group for some time. There's still much to learn from here. I'll do what I can to shore up information. Don't worry about me. I'll be on my own. But I know better than to let my guard down. I was focused on the workstation, data filling the monitors with lines and lines of who knows what. Didn't seem like she was moving soon, so Lyle and I left her work. Okay, be careful. Thank you. We should lock the door, though. Lyle and I darted out of the testing chambers, making a haste to the elevator. Come on! What is it? The elevator isn't working. Can't wait around for the elevator. Let's just hang out the stairs. She better not be conniving with Zero after all. Lyle growled to himself. I didn't reply. It was impossible for me to say whether or not Guy was truly on her side or not. But after freeing her from captivity, I had a feeling she wasn't hostile. I sighed. Regardless, there were more immediately pressing matters to attend to. Making an about face, we rushed through the hall and back upstairs. I was turning to the floor over and met with the trial building site. Missy? Missy! Oh, they killed Missy! Missy! We closed in on her. The first thing I noticed was a large slash that was cut into her chest. Her drooping body was held upright against the elevator door, jammed between the elevator cabin foyer, preventing the doors from shutting. Shit! We rushed to her side, all maintaining cautiousness around the masculine reality. I reached for the glasses and his bracelet. Before we jumped to any conclusions, I was concerned, of course, but I drew Lyle's attention to her wrist. She's alive, okay. And small bracelet was still rose gold. She's not the victim, but what happened to her? And why did the body and discovery announcement go off? She's alive, right? Let's get her up and let's find out. Lyle kneeled down, trying to wake her up from her daze she was in as her returned her glasses. Her eyes fluttered and she groaned, reaching towards the deep cut in her chest. Missy! Echo and Lyle? Come with me! Her eyes snapped open and she leapt into the elevator, clicking the button for the grounds. We gave chase and rumbled to the requested floor. Don't be Echo! No, don't! Please don't! Don't! Please be Say! Don't be Forte! Please! Don't be Forte! Or Canon! I hate this game! 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 No! My favorite character! And of course Say did it. Cortez's body was covered in blood and Say stained with the liquid as well, was sitting on the floor with an emotionless gaze staring at him. Said nothing as the three of us surrounded Forte's body. The bracelet was tinged with a sickening bright pink color that indicated his death status, as if the pool of the blood didn't indicate it clearly enough. What the hell happened when we split up? Astonishment painted Missy's face to the look of the scenery. She whipped around to glare at the most damning person, one drenched in blood. What? Say's detached expression told us nothing, perhaps everything. I'm sorry, I have no idea what happened. You better not be lying. I'm not. She flinched, tentatively tried to cover her wound. Investigate as you wish, won't stop you, I need to clean this up. Macy tottered through the elevator into the infirmary on the other side, leaving us with the victim and Say. So, care to share anything, Say? Didn't think so. This is a mess. No kidding. Is it really up to us to investigate? We were just about the furthest away from the crime. How could we begin to infer what occurred on 4 floors above? It's only up to us. Does it look like either Say or Missy are going to fess up? They're covered in blood. Yeah, you're right. At the very least, we were together with Gaius, so that solidifies our alibi somewhat. Having said that, Canon would still know where to tell. Could it be? Then let's go to it. Where's Canon? Say. Yeah, he's up on there now. Forte's body. And I can discuss with only Lyle. Say was motionless and expressionless. She didn't even dare look at anything except the body that lay before her. He didn't know where to begin with questioning her. Didn't want to suspect her, but it's difficult to think otherwise. She didn't appear to make any attempt in hiding her involvement either. Stammered for a minute before giving up entirely. So what's the big idea, Say? Saying nothing just makes you more suspicious, you know. Well, it certainly doesn't make her any less suspicious either. Sure, but blood makes a compelling case in favor of suspicion of murder. Thanks for nothing. Forte's body. There's the knife. And his abdomen wound. He was stabbed 4 times. The dagger Missy had. His body was lying face up with a familiar dagger stuck in his abdomen. That's Darling's dagger. The scenario where anything like the scenario when I went with Missy to investigate, I can only assume the dagger came from her possession. But why did Missy herself suffer a huge lash? It looks like he was stabbed multiple times before the culprit plunged the dagger firmly in one spot. Surrounding the dagger stuck in his body, Forte had several tears in his shirt, exposing the lacerations to his abdomen underneath. Lacerations were noticeably clustered on the abdominal area. What the hell? Forte's head was the side of a pool of blood. Possibly fell backwards and back with his head split from impact. The thought was upsetting. Why can I still investigate here? What else is there to investigate? I don't think there is anything else. Now let's discuss it with Lyle. Any thoughts? The one that saves the culprit. Seems plainly clear enough, but does that seem like something she would do? Well, who knows? It's likely that while the other group was investigating, something occurred that provoked her. Oh, I figured you might know a little more about her since you two have been talking lately. It's nothing like that. She doesn't talk much. I usually just think out loud to her. Or how she might behave. I can't put a pin on her. So excluding the obvious potential culprit, I'm up the creek. It was only understandable that both of us were stumped. We'll see what changes when Cannon shows up, dead or alive, that is. Hang, dude. She was gruesome despite that. She didn't seem to be much to note. Did you find anything? Say I have even half an idea of what would be a stretch. There's very little to draw conclusions from, well, except for, well, and I left to say, Courtney's body, say his bloodied state, an essentially locked room, couldn't be more straightforward. Can't believe this. Is there a victim, even a victim report? Maybe if we return to avoid it, there'll be one from the kiosk. Oh, why don't we get a new outfit for her? I'd like to see the victim report as well. I'm just pleased to say that I'm unaware of what happened here. As we return to the trial grounds from the infirmary, a gauze dress covering the inflicted wound. As Missy scanned the body, bloody scene once more, downcast gaze paused to meet says, Say, why don't you get cleaned up? Being awfully casual with the culprit. Missy didn't respond. She offered her hand to say, Stephanie reached up to receive it. Two of them left the crime scene without another word. Were we supposed to stop them? It's not like they'd get far. Ugh. I don't even know how to start on how strange this all is. Let's just get down to the foyer, find the victim report. There's no use standing around a dead body. Jerry probably has to clean this place up for the trial anyway. I nodded while I started toward the elevator as I glanced at Forty's body one last time. Get her down to the foyer once more. You cannot have a favorite character in this game, or they will die. Driving the wire while staring at the mask. I suppose step to follow stops with familiar sight. The photograph of Darling was on the floor. It had a small puncture at the front of it. Huh? I've seen this before. Same photograph Missy received for her special gift, but this time it wasn't with her when she received it. However, I noticed that the wall near the elevator had a similarly small puncture that matched the photograph. Could it be the two punctures in the wall in the photograph could be indicative of when Missy pinned the photo on the wall with Darling's dagger like last time. There's the photos on the floor, punctures in the wall, and the dagger is in a different place. Someone must have taken the dagger out of the wall. What did it mean? If it meant anything at all. Hey, Echo, the victim report is here. Sorry, coming. So did Lyle as he closed most card-sized black sheet. Monochrome File 03. Ultimate Student Victim Report. The victim's body was discovered in the trial grounds. The estimated time of death is 13:45. What? Is that it? You're telling me this is completely useless? Doesn't even say it caused death. Yeah, it's all dodgy. What if Gaia had something to do with the manipulating report? You think she had something to do with it? Well, I'm not ruling out the possibility. While Gaia allegedly lost her overseer visibility, it might be possible she had the capability of manipulating the report for the workstation. Stumbled with the thought of another act. It reminds me, Cannon is still absent. I hope she's okay. She must be. If she were dead, another victim report would have turned up. It's not very comforting. After a brief discussion about the victim report, Missy and Say emerged from the living quarters, meeting us on the floor. Say's expression remained as somber as before, Missy's eyes were shifting with unease. Two of them might have cleaned up the mess in the scene before, but whatever was going on through their minds continued to darken their faces. Trial might start any minute now. Let's use our time wisely to get information out of these two. I say Missy first. Missy, are you alright? I'll survive. Fortunately, the cut wasn't too deep. It's a relief. What happened? Be honest, I haven't the foggiest. I don't even recall how I ended up where I did. Start from the top. What does your group do when you split up? Visited Cyrus's room to gather information. I used the dagger or pommel to knock the doorknob off and unlatch the lock. Inside, we found files about the Preservation Project, a class dossier detailing our backgrounds, and some floor plans for the area we visited. After exhausting the files of information, we visited the trial grounds, thinking we could confront the one administering the game. However, she wouldn't know what we found. Yet at a dead end. Figures. Whoa. This story lined up with striking similarity to what she did when I explored the main floor with her and Forte. If this was true, it's likely I knew exactly what information was detailed. It's a strange occurrence I experienced. While we were idling in the trial grounds, the motives directed at Forte and Say came into play. Forte had a bit of a sorrowful look about him when he heard the song. Say, she got nothing. We had hit a dead end. Searched the most damning places we could in our area, and still yet nothing cropped up. That said, I decided to employ what I learned from Say from the files. She has some connection to Zero. Say knows Zero? Oh yeah, only ones who know about Say and Zero are the ones who stayed in the foyer, investigating Cyrus's confidential information. Yes, I pleaded for her to share what she knew. That she should admit it for the sake of escaping our enclosure, but rather than assisting, fears she snuck the dagger from my possession and lashed out at me. Say attacked you? I'm afraid so. I must have said something wrong to provoke her. At that point, all I can recall is toppling back from the sudden offense as Porte put himself between me and Say. She made a threat to harm herself, directing the dagger at herself. After which, Forte made a move to take the dagger, but seeing as she's unharmed was a false alarm. Probably hit my head or something, because it was blacked out until you two came. Fair enough, there's no stomach to see her so unsure. As far as your mission goes, Say was the one wielding the dagger. The very same one that is planted in Forte's body right now. And that is correct. There doesn't seem to be any conclusion here, is there? It's essentially a locker room murder with only one possible culprit. And it would be difficult to confess otherwise. I just won't be able to sit with myself if I really did cause her to spiral this far. The voice crackled with remorse. I wanted to reassure her that it was her fault, but I didn't want to lie and let her down. The situation was getting more and more bleak by the minute. Ellie, where's Cannon? I wish we could tell you. Looks like you didn't see her crawling around up there here either. She disappeared after we were investigating beyond the foyer doors. Can't say where she ran off to, though. See, her absence during this is quite disconcerting. Not to mention, I don't seem to have a revolver in my possession anymore. She reached into her inner coat pockets and came out short. You have to be kidding. So the revolver was missing. That, along with Cannon's absence, caused concern. Did you learn in this quest report beneath us? Well, the rooms below are the trophy room and testing chambers. We didn't explore the trophy room, but from the outside look at it, it's the play area for running game. However, we found the physical bodies of even Zero and Eve, or Akihiko Quartz and Gaia Spear in the testing chambers. Oh, so you've learned identities as well? Yeah, you don't seem surprised. Those two students' profiles are also in the class dossier. I can't read. It's probably dossier, isn't it? Well, they were included. Well, they were included when they weren't participants. Is beyond me. You'd think that kind of information would be better hidden. Other than that, we did find much else to know. I see. And none of you were near the crime scene at all? No, when the blackout occurred, we were immobilized, stuck in the testing chambers until the lights returned. There was a blackout. I had no idea. It must have hit when I was in my daze. Can't help but think I caused a snowball effect to Say, resulting in Forte's death. She grumbled under her breath. She was visibly trying to wrap her head around what we learned. We're learning about the details of the missing set events. Things are getting more tangled up. Okay, come on, Say. Say, are you okay? Did you get hurt or anything? No, I'm fine. You're fine? Say nodded. That's good to hear. Why do you care? Well, you're safe. It's always good news. Came out of that mess completely unscathed. Unlike Missy, who had received a nasty scar. Unlike Cannon, who was completely missing. What's going on? Do you have anything to say about being at the crime scene? No. It'll be crystal clear what happened there. Say that, but... They closed her eyes and turned away, ending the conversation promptly. Couldn't bring myself to believe it. Sorry. I accidentally stopped recording. Couldn't bring myself to believe it. But what? There's nothing more to be said about this, is there? She's asking for this. It shouldn't even be a trial for something as clear as this. I just don't want to jump to any hasty conclusions, okay? We might suffer the consequence of a poor decision if we go with the most obvious. We had to be careful. The trial was our only chance to clear the confusion, even if it did look clear as day. Echo, a word? Talking to Missy and say, Lyle and I shuffled off our sidebar. I wonder what could have put everyone in such precarious situations. Never mind that. We have a very clear culprit here. Don't you agree? If we point out who it is right away, the answers will come spilling out. I don't know if it's as simple as you think it is. Don't get all contemplative on me. Look, it's dangerous to make assumptions. I don't want to suffer needless consequences if we can help it. I get that. Don't discount a healthy suspicion. There's no use in blindly following someone's word on the Lord alone, especially when one's adrenaline starts messing with their perception of the situation. Facts can get muddled up. Great, we experienced it personally. Lyle and I were on the same page. Although our approaches were different, the only thing we had going forward was our intuition. We have to put our heads together. We won't get anywhere if we don't work together. I hope I can count on you for help. Likewise. I just can't promise anything. Where on earth is Cannon, though? Last I recall, she had been acting a little worrisome since last night, and I don't think it helped her frustrations that she tried to take her camera. Shot me a dark look for a second before casting his gaze under his heavy eyelids. She's not the most trustworthy, okay? Running around doing who knows what? Shouldn't stir the pot, I suppose. Besides, I couldn't disagree with Lyle's stance, but Cannon did make an attempt to cheer me up somewhat. Couldn't flat out accuse Lyle. Couldn't help but think her behavior was the result of me rejecting her photograph. It's that time, folks. Class trial time. I'm ready to take you all to the courtroom once everyone is entered. Not that there are much of you left. The four of us sulked into the other room once more, the door sliding to close, as we anxiously stood by for what discovery we would make in the courtroom. What? Where's Cannon? We stood in the elevator cab unmoving. Jeez, what is going on this time? She opened once more. Hey, there you are. The guy with her? Cannon crept into the elevator. The doors finally closed and the elevator began to move. He was alive, thankfully. Making sure. Cannon! Where the hell have you been? You didn't hear a single breath from her. Silence was deafening. She faced away from the rest, was completely unreadable. Cannon was alive after all. But her behavior after last night and her absence during this whole mess was worrisome. Cannon and I whispered out, but she didn't recall at all. Cannon made a haunting re-entry. Given that we knew about a revolver going missing and Cannon's appearance in the testing chambers moments before the body announcements. Was I too late? Was this my fault?
Danganronpa.
She didn't turn. Okay, I'm gonna end this recording session here, chat, and I shall return later, because I got a live stream I'm about to do. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. The stream was a W, as always. It's kind of off-centered, that's annoying. Oh, it is centered, okay. Alright, let's go. She didn't turn. Cannon, it was cold to you last night. You don't have to apologize. I ought to be the one who's sorry. Cannon's voice was hushed. Huh? I'm sorry. But you don't have anything to be sorry for. I'm the one who tore your, well-intentioned photo in half. Cannon? What did she mean? ought to be the one who's sorry. The atmosphere was disquieting. Disquieting. No one said a word. We stoically reserved all our inquiries for the upcoming trial. Endless and unfamiliar. That was a whole chapter. So now we're on chapter 4. So this episode is chapter 3, part 2, and chapter 4. Okay. Let's get into the trial grounds. Forte shouldn't be there. It should be Say. Every trace of the crime scene had been removed as if nothing happened. However, I still saw the faint phantom image of blood painting the floor in the back of my eyes. Five of us stepped in warily, footsteps echoing the chamber as we habitually navigated to our respective stands in silence for the trial. Hey, dude. He should have never disappeared. Dang it. Oh, I didn't read that first part, my bad. Oh, I did. When we split up, our groups had discovered a slew of information that attempted to explain our captivity. But in spite of making these discoveries that we thought would help us prevent further danger, another one of our group has fallen. It is unfortunate it must greet you like this, but welcome back to the trial grounds. Fuzzy hologram of Gaia appeared before us. Oh, you're here too? Sure, whatever. Showing your face isn't really going to change anything, you know. Gaia, do you know anything about what happened to Forte? I can't say that I do, but please consider my presence an asset to your discussion. Should you need any inquiries answered, I will do my best. Jeez, this one has been nothing but useless. If anything, I would posit that Zero will at the very least respect my testimony. What makes you think you can pull the wool over her eyes? What if you two are colluding? Ha! You give her too much credit. At this point, she's nothing but an obstacle. Eve, or rather as you know her now, Gaia, knows zilch. I'm the only one who knows for certain whether you will be voting correctly or incorrectly after all. What kind of judge would I be if I didn't know? Freeing Gaia meant stripping her of her prize. Huh? But we're not here to talk about that. So let's get this show on the road. Glass trial, all eyes. Let's go over the rules, shall we? You're all on trial to figure out who the culprit is of today's heinous crime. The rules are as follows. Discuss, discover, and determine who the culprit is among your group. Majority vote will seal the individual's fate. Okay, this is the same thing that's been said a couple of times. Our victim today is Forte Solo, the ultimate opera singer. No. It's a real shame. We never got to hear that bass baritone voice of his. Says Lovey. So, you know what to do. I'm sure you'll get this one down there with real quick. The otaku to himself there is Burst's opening statement. We all stared at each other from the circumference of the stands, our eyes locking onto the most suspicious. Look at her face. Don't waste your breath on this. There's an obvious answer. Is that so? Let's be the judge of that. The case is going to be difficult, but we need to try. Though I desperately wish that wouldn't happen again, a culprit must be found. First things first, we can't just ignore the fact that Say was in the middle of the crime scene, drenched in blood, presumably from the victim himself. It is ineffable, sheer amount of evidence proving that you are at fault for this. Make your own judgment. Ugh, fine. There's no way around the fact that no one else could have killed Forte, but I suppose I'll entertain you. Let's clear up everyone's alibi. When the six of us split up, the groups were as follows. Missy, Forte, and Say went to investigate the floors we've seen. Cannon, Echo, and I went to investigate beyond the foyer doors. Here is when Gaia's statement would prove useful. Yeah. Me, Lyle, and Cannon were together with her for a majority of the afternoon down in the testing chambers. It is correct. They have not left the testing chambers since my release. As for supporting Lyle and Echo's statement, I did not see anyone leave the testing chambers. Nevertheless, I unfortunately took no notice of when Cannon supposedly left. Yeah, Cannon, you managed to slip out unnoticed while Lyle and I spoke to Gaia. Where did you go? I had to step out. Step out? And where to? Back to the main wing so you could sneak around and plot something on your own? Cannon in the main wing? If she were involved in Forte's murder, she never made herself known during our journey. Three of us didn't see a trace of her as we explored the rooms, and only the three of us went up in the elevator before Forte's demise. So only the three of you went up. Missy, is there anything else you can tell us about your group's exploration? Faye is no longer with us, and Say is obviously culprit number one. And Say might be unreliable. Doesn't the blood speak for itself? Say, one moment. I'd hate to commit to a conclusion so hastily, so I would like to know what occurred leading to the events that caused my side investigation to unravel so previously. Three of us moved as one unit in the main wing for the entirety of our investigation. Like I said, we all entered the trial grounds together. And, well, cannot speak more plainly about what occurred after. Though I wish, more than anything, it were untrue. But that wish is nothing but dust. Slash that had carved and proves that. Say turned the dagger on me. Of course she did. Clear as day. Say Kano is the culprit behind Forte Solo's murder. Hold it. If you asked me to act right now, I would lay a vote against Say. I was the only one present when she made her assault. I should have known what her motive to cause harm was. And I say it was not with murderous intent. Say still harmed you, though. Your action alone could be indicative of more. Case in point, the very poignant murder of Forte? Are you protecting her? What do you even have to gain from doing something like that? Hang on. If Missy has an explanation, we should hear her out. I'm still apprehensive about voting too quickly, especially when we haven't yet established any rhyme or reason. Indeed, my testimony is not driven by a want to gain anything except the truth. Would I not be endangering myself if I voted against Say? Ugh. See where this is going. Knowing how tiresome you all are. You want to dig for a reason behind these sort of things, despite seeing that the conclusion could not be more telling. Fine, let's talk about motivation. Just cut to the chase, will you? It would be helpful. After all, Zero explicitly delivered motivations in different targeted ways over the course of the afternoon. Motivations. What could have caused Say to turn the dagger against Missy, possibly against Forte as well? And did hearing that other motivations cause someone else to behave differently? Hopefully in turn, we might also get an answer to Lyle's question of what Missy might have to gain if she potentially were protecting Say. Discussion commence. Let's see what everyone has to say about their specific motives. My motive was a photograph. Ugh, we know that much. Care to expound on what the photograph is? No, I didn't look at it. Do you want us to suspect you? For all we know, you could have been planning something from the moment you received the photograph. Oh, hang on. If Missy said she didn't see Cannon around, it's not fair to call Cannon the culprit right away. I still think there's something strange about her not being around when the lights went out. Though she claimed that she didn't look at the motive photograph, Cannon's absence during a majority of the afternoon was concerning. My motive, along with Cannon's, were delivered shortly after our two groups parted ways. Photographed the bloody portrait of a friend whom the dagger once belonged. Say, the announcement didn't direct any sort of gift to you. That's right. True, Forte's Solomon song was announced first. Say's announcement of nothing followed shortly. Did she react to the message in any way? She didn't react in any particular manner, no. Nothing is only fitting for me. That's so. It's possible that Say being left out might have left an impression on her. I know who the photograph is of. Lyle, your motive. The blackout resulted from my fear of the dark. Me too, twin? Okay, so it's probably Missy's thing. Do it through the sheath dagger she clung to after the second trial. I admit, I was overcome with the zealousness to confront the one called Puppet Master, pinning the mocking photo on the wall outside the elevator with the dagger. How the dagger ended up on the trial grounds as a murder weapon, I can only suspect the sadist greatly retreated from the wall and concealed it on her person before attacking me in a state of panic. We were able to trace the dagger's origin to you, but you claimed to leave it as a wall adornment before entering the elevator. Correct. Still wasn't sure if I could write off the conditions of Missy's wound just yet, but Missy not intentionally taking the dagger with her into the trial grounds seems intentional somehow. Let's see what everyone has to say about their specific motive. Okay, this is happening again. Motive of a photograph. Blah 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 blah. Darkness. I've been aware something like that occurred. Yeah, but if you could have any remembrance of it, it might have lasted for the duration of when you were knocked out. I see. What does my motive have to do with the case anyway? We already discussed that me, Echo, and Gaia were all together on the floor beneath the foyer. Nowhere near the trial grounds. Well, we have to assume it affected the entire building and that the group upstairs also lost their visibility. Darkness occurring has to have some bearing to the timeline of events. Say, do you recall a blackout occurring? Yes. Can't believe I still have to ask, but can you care to elaborate at all? It's important. Is that so? But during the moment before Gaia found the flashlight, it's too dark to even see my own hand in front of my face. How would it have been possible for anyone to do anything without visibility? Based on the murder scene, we had a glaringly obvious culprit, but none of us could understand why Say would act in such a way. Make things more confusing, Say is the only one with a properly delivered motive. Timing and respective intensity of each individual motive, it must create some volatility in our headspaces, as far as I can tell. It's a little tough to follow which ones are and aren't irrelevant. Though, now that I think about it, what if announcing them was the purpose of the motives? What? Announcing the motives? How would someone else's motive affect anyone but the person it's meant for? Well, I was just thinking, they didn't receive a personalized motive either. But to hear that everyone got something that would try to provoke them to murder... Wouldn't that be frightening? To hear who has motives and reason to kill, you'd feel tormented that others could turn on you. That's all I can think of. They received her motive last, at least before Lao's blackout. In that case, we're back on square one. Say is the culprit. You just explained a reason why she would be motivated to kill, despite not receiving a personalized motive herself. You heard all the motives previous to hers and must have been shaken by the potential of everyone turning on her. Discussion deadlock. Well, it's possible, but no buts. You need more proof, let's move on. With the advent of Missy's claim to Say's attack in mind, the next topic is obvious. That is, the state of Forday's body. Yeah, the victim report was extremely unspecific, more than previous. Vague, on purpose, most likely. There was an innumerable amount of stab wounds in his abdomen, likely from the dagger before it was finally stuck in his body. Stabbed? I thought... Cannon quickly fell silent. Something you want to share? That's right, Cannon. You didn't even see the body, did you? No, I didn't see the body. And is something wrong? Nothing's wrong. Are you shocked that Forty was stabbed? You clearly know something. Lyle, he's back. Please, Cannon, if you notice something odd, we need your help. Something odd. Something odd. My help? I shot Forte. You what? Huh? You did what? Cannon! That's what you were up to. Better explain yourself. Not only was the revolver out of Missy's hands when we met her up with her, you have no alibi whatsoever. I would hope Cannon isn't as contemptuous, the person you think she is, to deny information as critical as when occurred. But I must know as well, when did you come to the foyer? And to what end did the revolver's last bullet entreat to finally being spent? Cannon freely admitted that she caused harm to Forte, but to know why she meant to do such a thing caused an anticipation to rise in my chest. I've been suspicious of Say for a while, and either a strange intuition or just another strain of bad luck led me on. What made me act, finally seeing that mystery announced in the testing chambers. Like when Lyle discovered Gaia, always behind Eve, so naturally, the other encapsulating person must be Say's connection. But what made you suspect Zero and Say had a connection to begin with? I noticed her reaction to the first Killing Him announcement. She was transfixed on that voice, as if she heard it before. It's a small detail, but I couldn't shake it. From day one, I've only ever been suspicious of her. By laying low, she was playing the long game. The plan had to backfire eventually, right? So I slipped out while Gaia, Echo, and Lyle were talking, and to investigate my apprehensions about her, I turned to the foyer and moved warily. But I didn't find any trace of them on the first floor, and the only thing I found is a photo on the floor and a puncture mark in the wall near the elevator. I just missed them. I noticed the elevator was at the trial grounds. Called for the elevator to follow after. On arrival, the doors opened, and Missy was suddenly flung into the elevator cab with me. She just dropped in, bloodied, and her head hung low. I thought she might have been dead. I looked in to see who her assailant was, and saw Say and Forte in the middle of a struggle. Even though Forte had the dagger in his hand, Say was the one covered in blood all over her hands. He must have pulled the weapon away from her just after her attack. My suspicions about Say were confirmed. She was under our noses the whole time, waiting for the moment to strike. Missy's revolver had fallen out of her coat pocket. I grabbed it and didn't think twice. I fired towards Say. Well, I thought I did. The lights went out after, and I couldn't see where my shot landed. Couldn't run in and check either, since the elevator shut in my face and mechanically returned me and Missy to the foyer. I ran, shot was fired, Missy was unconscious, and a blackout overtook everything. Does that statement help? There, well, we have it. Confession. What? Wait. Wait for what? Is there any reason for us not to accept this as the truth? Well, no, but the canon says she fired the revolver. A gun wound. Where? And that doesn't explain the lacerations. You can't ignore the one thing the Monochrome file detailed for us. There has to be some relevance. It's within reason for me to doubt that fact, aren't I? Oh, I can explain them. What? How? Because I stabbed him in the abdomen after he was shot. What? Why? There's no use hiding it since you confessed. Truthfully, I couldn't believe it at first. Seeing how desperate she was, I ultimately tried to help Cannon escape. Huh? After I witnessed Cannon shoot Forte from the elevator, he fell quickly and I saw his bracelet turn pink. I realized that because she wasn't with Lyle or Echo, Cannon would be the most likely implicated as a culprit, so I did what I had to do. I stabbed Forte's body several times near the gunshot wound to conceal it, making it look like he had died of blood loss from lacerations rather than the shot. But since I was the only one in the trial grounds, they reacted with me. After all, Cannon wants to leave just as much as any of us. Why not give her the advantage? No way. Cannon became the culprit without even seeing her victim fall. Is that it? Can't argue with that. I don't even see whether or not he died. But you're just going to accept it? All I know is that I fired a shot and someone ended up dead. What else is there to say? Fortunately, as far as we know, the surrounding conditions of Forte's death are undisputable. Say's the only eyewitness. But is that really all there is to it? Given that I ultimately wound up in the foyer, it stands with reason that Cannon indeed visited the trial grounds. The elevator had to go up and bring me back down after the assault. And you witnessed that I did not find the revolver on my person after I awoke. Can't argue with that, but ugh, listen to you. It's all been laid out on the table. Not hiding anything this time. You want to keep going with this discussion because the truth is hard to swallow? Is that it? I have news for you. These trials are full of impossible to accept fates. Sorry for continuing this vicious cycle. So don't you allow me to leave with whatever is left of my dignity. Just let me receive punishment already. No, that's not it at all. I just... There's something bothering you. Just spit it out already. Couldn't help but think there was something missing. Just racking my head for an answer for something. The story just feels off to me. I just don't know why. Everything's out in the open. What else is there to deliberate? Nothing. Don't be a coward and just vote me off already. If there's no proof of another culprit, then you're just endangering yourself with an incorrect vote. I'm sure there's something else we can think about that can save you. And don't you care that she could be executed? Of course I care. But who am I to argue with the facts? They're impossible to dispute. My punishment, isn't it? It's only fair that I get what I deserve. Can't fight it. Didn't know what to think. There was an inkling of what truly occurred on the trial grounds. Cannon admitted that she saw Forte. Say claims that the shot was what killed him. Say masked the gun wound by stabbing Forte several times, allowing Cannon a clean getaway. Since Cannon unexpectedly confessed, there was no reason for Say to keep secret the fact she disturbed the crime scene, making it appear the way it did. All I could do was take their word for truth, right? Cannon and Say's testimonies were the only things we had to work with, yet couldn't help but feel like there was much more to this. Struggling to find the truth in trial. But would it lead me to a dead end? A dead end. Missy said something like that when I went with her in Forte the first time. We ran into a dead end of sorts when we were investigating the courtroom. Couldn't find zero any of its hints. And then we were all killed one by one shortly after. Something inexplicably occurred as my consciousness faded. Turned at the time before we split into groups. This time, when I went with Lyle's group, and information I never could have known if I didn't go with Missy's group first. Though the testing chamber's code somehow, that Pandora's incubated sister was Gaia, the cosmic cartographer. Was it possible that I needed to pursue this dead end? I grit my teeth. I had an absurd idea. Discussion is over. There's nothing wrong. Cannon's the culprit. I look over at my classmates who all had the same painted, startled expression at the finality of my decision. All of them were shocked except Say. That's right. That's right, nothing is wrong. Zero silently obliged. Calling forward the vote screens to the other students, everyone was dumbfounded, but with no other option laid before them. Only one vote was to be made. Canon Ota. Class trial adjourned. Wait, so are we getting this like Super Danganronpa Another 2 referent thing? Off leader song! Ronan, thank you for all your hard work. The room shook as the walls behind Cannon opened up to reveal its dark depths. And herself simply turned from her place at the stands and walked to the shadow. This is it. Fled from the stand, my feet pounding as they carried me toward the hallway beyond the walls. What on earth are you doing? Paying no attention to Gaia's call, I was pursuing that dead end. Slipped in, Gaia's startled exclamation along with the others, shocked cries echoing through the halls as the portal wall shut. My head was thrashing from fear. Each breath I took was heavier than the last. I threw myself into an execution. Cannon! Cautiously stepped forward. A veil of darkness caused me to lose all my bearings. Echo? What the hell are you doing here? Chat. It's like Danganronpa 2. It's like Danganronpa 2 in the freaking second chapter's execution with freaking what's her face? Pekko. I blindly chased after Cannon's voice, each step taking enormous effort as I tried against my instinct of self-preservation. This isn't right! You mean you all voted for this? This is my punishment, isn't it? It's closing in on her. That's right! This is your punishment! This is everyone's punishment! Wait, what? Whirring machinery clicked as replaced as bursts of light flooded the room. Rougher lights bled through my closed eyelids, burning the back of my head. Each flash, the sound of an object darting through the air, hit the floor before each of us shot, approaching our very location. No, 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 no! Cannon's cry, plead, sound of almost gunfire. I could see it was the firing flashes with the silhouette of her body convulsed violently, each hit pulling her apart. Sharp object narrowly darted past me, tearing through my coat and breaking my skin. Blood began to ooze from the cut. I heard Cannon collapse before me. Started toward the sound and tried to find her, guiding my hand for darkness in vain. Pin pricks my hand. Needles? Felt around the ground and picked one up. It was a small, near-invisible thing on its own, but when shot at high speeds, the needles became lethal. A series of fires fired up, blinding me. Between flashes, I saw the mangled body that used to be Cannon, now a disfigured bloody mess. Ah! The metallic taste of blood from my mouth and I began to choke. Sharp pain melted its way through my throat. I buckled immediately, letting the anguish overwhelm my senses. I was wrong about this. Terribly, absurdly, ridiculously wrong that I put my life in danger for nothing, but... Following this dead end. Be something strange. I lost my grip on the situation and I felt pain. Terrible sensation sank into my blood. My inflaming ache rushed out into my body. Yo, this is insane! Something bothering you, just spit it out already. Gas in my throat, my skin was undamaged. Only the startling phantom pain of a needle that pierced my throat remained. I wiped the sweat from my brow and met the gaze of concerned faces staring back at my exclamation. Cannon, alive once more, revolved my panicked gaze with her own stoic expression. A few feet away from me, she was waiting for the revolt. You okay? Swallowing hard, I finally realized the purpose of these harrowing, strange occurrences. Gave me a glimpse of everything that could go wrong. Somehow, I had managed to escape death twice. Why was I able to experience an alternate history like that? Couldn't begin to fathom an explanation. I was trembling, my heart was hammering my chest. But if this were anything like the moment before entering the testing chambers, instead of my breathing, there had to be something useful in a moment of time between coming to a consensus on the culprit and being executed. If I gather what I learned from the pseudo-hearing's current ending in death, perhaps I can put together a picture of what could have occurred. The group was aware the only clues we had work with were found on the crime scene. There weren't many to begin with. Freddy's body had multiple lacerations clustered in one area due to Say hiding the gunshot wound inflicted by Cannon, but also it had no near the back of his head. However, the other source of blood near the back of his head was what bothered me. Nothing clearly visible caused the injury. I didn't know how to explain the life-saving phenomenon in his experience, but I knew I had to find the truth. Listen, I still don't think we have the full picture. Please, I can't vote for Cannon. They're implicating Say as well. Not exactly, but her presence is important. You think something's missing, then just shout it out. We won't know what's going on in that head of yours. You keep stopping the trial for no reason. That's the problem. I don't know where to start. Couldn't yet sway the group. The absurd notion that Cannon could be wrongfully executed. I didn't have the means to explain how I knew such a thing. I just think we ought to continue deliberating the details. There's something bothering me. If you could just entertain me with this, I'd like to further adjust the lacerations. Well, Cannon admitted she shot Forte. She didn't know whether or not it was the shot that killed him for certain. I saw her shoot him. But let's say the shot itself didn't kill him right away. As far as I could tell, the stab wound and the subsequent hidden gun wound weren't near his vitals. They were around his lower abdomen. And remember, the condition for living in the darkness was to kill. Cannon, when did the lights go out? They went out seconds after I fired, just before the elevator doors closed on me. The elevator was still working, though. I couldn't see a thing, but I felt the cab move, bringing me back down to the foyer without a hitch. After I arrived at the foyer level, I waited out the darkness in the elevator cab before running off to the atrium. She waited out the darkness, and the darkness fell seconds after she fired. Well, we were just as immobilized in the testing chambers as Cannon was in the elevator cab. They had to wait out the darkness as well, so that means Forte wasn't killed instantly. Say must have been taking advantage of his injured state, taking the dagger from him with a little resistance and retaliated. He must have fallen weak from Cannon's chance shot, and when the lights went out, Say stabbed him, finishing him off to left the darkness. In that case, what you said about covering for Cannon was a lie. So you really stabbed Forte to death? Yes, he knows it. Cannon saw it too. Saw? Turn the dagger on Missy first. She has a scar to prove it. Forte would be next. What are you talking about? I only saw Forte with the dagger, facing off against you. Then when did Say acquire the dagger? Forte didn't push Missy away in time, she would have fallen instead. No, you can't mean that. Then why not? I planned that attack after I saw you pin the dagger into the wall. I took it. You were planning to attack. Why didn't you do so when sooner? You had a perfectly opportune time when we were all in the elevator going to the trial grounds. You're asking why I didn't attack sooner? Okay, stop. What was stopping you from doing so in every private opportunity? I'm challenging you to convince me of your malicious intent. It's not something I wish to hear, but it makes sense. So I would say protect me only to endanger herself. That's enough! We're not getting anywhere like this. But this is a discussion. It's impossible to make heads or tails of it. We had a culprit pinned from the start. Say. But we drew out the trial only for Canada to take ownership of a hidden gun wound, and now we really are back to square one. Same as the requirement for lifting in darkness and hid the gun wound so she would vote wrong. Neither me, Missy, nor Echo were at the scene, so basing our conjecture on the testimonies of the two most suspicious people is it's impossible. Damn it. How can we possibly find the truth based on their word alone? Just a lot of frustration, but bearing all discussion so far, there has always been an obvious culprit staring right at her face. But something inside me kept resisting the easy answer, so we couldn't accept Say as a culprit. I had to think. Strange occurrences ending in death. I learned something I normally would have. With no tangible proof of what I needed to express, I put faith in the facts, learned from my memories of the events, hoping something would work out. Put my faith in believing no one here could kill. And after what happened twice already. Just why did I experience those strange occurrences? In the two scenarios, my life was gravely threatened. And yet, I stood there. Still stood here. The memories of those events. After all, they had to happen for a reason, right? It was far-fetched, but I had to utilize what I learned, with hopes that the facts learned would guide me in the right direction. I had to think about what I've come to know. The information I learned when we visited Cyrus's room was about the killing game. The game was an experiment to see who would survive and win, to overcome other old students. In the game, participants were paired with other close students, create friction between relations. The game was set up to sow chaos and disorder. Sei was listed alongside the former student, Akihiko, now known to us as Zero. After Missy, Forte, and I came to a dead end in our search, we discovered Cannon had been killed. Missy and Forte fell shortly after, and I, the last one standing, heard the voice of the assailant, Sei. She pleaded for escape, but in my near-death haze, I could recall Zero himself telling Sei, "You don't want the prize." That, even after eliminating everyone, killing wasn't the answer. I was whisked back in time somehow, back to the decision that would bring me to this point, alive. Those were things I learned before falling to my demise. Falling for a sparse moment, that is. Finding new life seriously breathing into me, I wandered a different path, using information that I learned from my previous experience. That information had led us, here to contemplate another murder. Foolish to think that the experience would be my last, as I would come to relive another near death once again. Our discussion became deadlocked. This time I risked emulating that strange dead-end occurrence to pursue the thing I believed was missing from Forte's murder. It was a brief experience, but I saw the method Zero used to dispose of Cannon. Small, near-invisible needles shot at high speed, and little else before returning here. The truth felt close, but I felt an apprehension rising in my chest. Say, tell me, what happened after Cannon shot Forte? What happened? I stabbed Forte. How many times do I have to tell you? You stabbed Forte, but did you kill him? Isn't it obvious? It's not. Cannon claims that before she shot you, Forte was the last one in possession of the dagger. I spent out shortly after, and from that point, no one can really say who had the dagger. And through the dagger was plunged in Forte's abdomen, giving us the impression of it being the murder weapon. I can't help but think otherwise. Primarily because of the scenario we found ourselves in. There was constant pressure that put upon us. Its personalized motives spread throughout our exploration. That is, until Lyle's final personalized motive. The heavy darkness to stoke our fear, we would be scrambling until someone acted maliciously from the previously set pressure. But I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face, let alone begin to think of a plan to kill and get away with it. So to carry it out to fruition would be near impossible. The entire building was indeed plunged in such thick darkness. Can't help but think, how could any of us have killed Forte? That's interesting phrasing. Yeah, what are you on to? Call when our group split. Zero mentioned something interesting. So we all decided to split up, huh? That's alright, no sweat off my back, figuratively speaking, of course. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quiet yet. Seems he's able to know our whereabouts within the building. In this case, he was able to locate us from our bracelets. When implying Zero is taking moves to actively, though discreetly, participate in the game with us? There's no going back. Yes. I believe Zero might have had a hand in killing Forte. Hmm? That's nonsense. Have you lost your mind? Where are you getting with this theory? I know you want us to entertain you, but this is a little too much, isn't it? Lyle, please. I know it's a lot to ask, but I want you to trust me.
I'd like to hear what you're or you're getting this funny idea as well, Echo.
Lyle's intense leer burned through me, but he fell silent and allowed me to continue. He must be observing my next unpredictable move, just like when I suggested knowing the testing chamber code. Zero idly gazed back at me, a complete poker face masking whatever scheme he was plotting. I felt a strange sense of self-conviction that connecting an execution method with the mysterious pool of blood that was behind Forte's head would lead me to the answer I was seeking. I had to use what I learned from Cannon's execution dead end. The fact that Zero prepared a barrage of needles. It's like Missy said, the more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. Zero is readying himself for an explanation. This was my opening to draw something out from him. Zero, I want the truth. The truth that you're the one behind this. The truth?
Let's see if you can find it. You're making a ridiculous accusation, you know. How could I have possibly killed a student? I can only operate from within the courtroom.
Zero is goading me. His voice isn't wavering, but there's a statement somewhere that I can use.
You're making a ridiculous accusation, you know. How could I possibly have killed a student? I can only operate within the courtroom.
Yes, as far as we've seen, you can only operate from the courtroom. But that's where the body turned up, isn't it? That much was obvious. Now from some of the courtroom, and there was no evidence of the crime being moved from one place to another.
What weapon do you suppose I could have killed him with? The only weapon available was the dagger, so he admitted to it, isn't it? I definitely didn't electrocute or use supersonic on anyone this time around. Face it, there's nothing in this courtroom that shows I had anything to do with it.
Location. It's true that there was nothing in the courtroom, but there are things beyond the courtroom walls. Namely, the tools used for executions that you clearly have some agency over. You conveniently omitted the cause of death because it would have implicated someone from our group. Based on what everyone else knows, it sounded far-fetched, but to me, it was the only thing that made perfect sense. Zero seemingly had no power in the courtroom. Proven by the fact that during the past 2 trials, the hologram's purpose has been purely cosmetic. That said, machinery hiding behind the walls themselves could very well suffice, not only as tools for executions, but for murder in and of itself.
That's how it's gonna be, huh? So are you implying I took Forte beyond the walls, executed him, and dumped the body back out? Why wouldn't I just execute him and leave his body with the rest of the punished students? You didn't do anything to receive an execution anyway. I'm not so heartless, you know.
You're missing a piece in your argument. Echo, this discussion is going nowhere. What would Zero even have to gain from participating?
I have nothing to gain from intervening. In my position, I certainly have nothing to lose.
The ultimate prize is so desirable, then even an arbiter of the game would want to win it. Why didn't Zero simply eliminate us all from the start? Well, I brought up a good point. I haven't unearthed anything useful from Zero yet. And it's within reason that if Zero wanted the prize as well, he wouldn't have survived this long. So, there has to be a reason why. Hang on. Nothing to lose? Location and method was clear to me, but the motivation stumped me. I had to concentrate. Zero truly had nothing to gain by executing us all. Why did he only now carry out a plan to murder one of the game participants? He had nothing to gain. There must be something he didn't want to lose. Something he wanted to keep. Something or someone. Zero and say they have some sort of connection. That very connection could become the motive I'm looking for. Hannah noted seeing Forte with the dagger last, just before the lights went out. Sensei's unscathed, and the room showed no signs of a gunshot in the wall. It's clear Forte must have taken the shot. Forte had the dagger the entire time. He could have used it against Sei. And if Zero was observing his offense against her, then he would have reason to consider Forte a threat to say. This has to be it. It's possible for me to disturb with any certainty that exactly occurred in the courtroom. However, I can think of a reason why it happened. Yeah, right. And it's not for the ultimate prize. Like Lau said, the ultimate prize is so desirable. Why wouldn't Zero get rid of us all from the beginning? In that case, winning the ultimate prize has nothing to do with why Zero acted. Although he isn't strictly a participant, he's still involved. An involvement, something connecting us participants, as the participants to him as an overseer. Lyle, you have something very important that will complete the picture. That note, it reads, if you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of the note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. Lyle discovered this note in the pantry after seeing Sei duck in there for a brief moment. Sei must have known something as early as the third day. No, even earlier, since Zero's album emblem was shown on the second day. Wow. It's like Cannon said. When the killing announcement came on, Sei must have been clued in on the person behind it. She's known all this time and played us for fools by taking out a confrontation. Sei is the other insider. Her student profile then explicitly documented any involvement in the game. Their files were pairing along with Akihiko's, the one we currently call Zero. Second day, when Zero summoned us to the atrium to present a special gift, the note must have been it. Based on what we know, it's now clear that Sei must have some insight on who Zero is. However, instead of thinking Sei was a spy in our ranks, conniving with Zero to plot against us, Zero is the one trying to bridge the gap between participant arbiter to intervene with Sei's safety. Huh? Wait. But even if that's the case, why would Sei go out of her way to direct the attention of claiming herself as the culprit? Isn't the action in diametric opposition of what you're implying? No, I killed Flirte. He deserved it after all. She would be forsaking her own safety by placing the blame on herself. False culprit, causing us to vote incorrectly and inevitably causing us all to die. Zero has nothing to do with it. What Sei did to Forte during this trial was on her own volition, shattering the connection between her and Zero. If he killed her to keep her safe, if he killed to keep her safe, she completely threw the sentiment out the window. I'm the only culprit, vote for me! Well, Zero, what do you have to say about all this?
You'll never know the answer if you don't vote. If Sei confessed, what's stopping you from accepting our judgment and his truth?
You want to believe your friend, don't you? What's stopping me? I want to believe that you can never do something like that.
That's it?
Just like you're completely out of this world conjecture about me interfering, you have no tangible basis to trust her either. That's irresponsible thinking. Could lead to an execution, you know. Jiro wasn't going to be shaken so easily. The fact that the arguments are lofty, just as intangible, gave me some solace that I could turn the trial around. I could do so, focusing on the subject of his motivation. Say, I'm not going to vote for you. You're the only one who knows what happened for certain. Please, tell us why. Why are you trying so hard to make us vote incorrectly? You can't possibly want us all to get executed, do you? Do you? That's actually what I want. Complete execution. Seriously? Even though candidate admitted to doing something she didn't do, I went with it for the sake of redirecting the vote. Regardless if you voted her or voted me, it was going to be wrong and we'd all face execution. And we would finally be freed from this horrible game. Say, you can't possibly believe leading us to our demise is the right answer. Why not? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Pandora is gone, Art is gone, Cyrus is gone, Ashley is gone. And now Forte is gone because of me. Can't stand any of this. The pain and suffering, it's endless. Zero killed Forte to protect me, but I don't care. I don't know who Zero is anymore. Came all this way to find the shell of someone I knew. When will this nightmare end? When can we escape? Even if we don't kill, someone dies and we're still stuck. We're trapped. I'm tired of believing in something that will never happen. I have nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Why keep going? What's the point of fighting? Everyone is slipping out of my fingers. And I'll be left alone. Alone? Say, look around you. You're not alone. What? You say you have nothing left to lose. But what about the people standing before you? We aren't enduring the pain, the guilt, the torment of surviving for nothing. Endurance? Survival? Please, we can figure this out together. It's pointless at the 11th hour. What? Oh, because she's a clockmaker. So what? Our endurance is worthless. Say, it's spiraling. I need to give this restriction on the line. I have to fight. It's worth fighting. But a complete execution won't solve the problem. I didn't read anything that she said. There's another way out. I'm certain of it. There must be. So please help me. No, I can't. I can't stand it anymore. The fear... Let me go. Forget? I want to stop this game too, but we shouldn't forget the turmoil our friends went through. Pandora, Art, Cyrus, Ashley, and Forte. We can't simply abandon our memories of them in the past. I'm not going to stop the game by voting for you. I'm not going to abandon my memory of you either. Me? But I don't understand. After what I've done to sabotage this trial, it's hopeless, worthless, significant. That's not true! I hear my cats and my dog fighting. The truth of hopelessness is staring us straight in the face. There's no denying it. But I felt a desire to combat the terror that hung over us. And above all, experiencing what Sadie did to us. Out of desperation, I felt a responsibility to vouch for her innocence the only way I knew how. Say, you're not alone. You're with us as our friend. And you're not alone in this feeling scared and helpless. Everyone's trying their best to keep their head above the water. I don't know what will happen after this, or if we'll even make it out, but we have to try. But I did a horrible thing to Forte. Isn't this ending what I deserve? It's not your fault. How can you do that? You know that. I believe you. Please. I don't want to see us go through anything like this again, so you're the only one who knows for certain who the culprit is. The game will surely be over after we uncover the last truth. For all, you didn't kill Forte. How could I? Of course I didn't kill him. My dog's drinking out of the toilet. I'll be right back. I'm back. My bad. Of course I didn't kill him. I was so scared. Echo was right about the motives. I acted little by little. Everyone was being pushed some way or another into distress. Felt the pressure mounting. Who was to know what sort of motive would be delivered? Do that to protect myself. Couldn't possibly know what was going on if anyone's head after those motives, could I? I wasn't even relieved that I didn't get a motive, because I couldn't help but think about everyone else's. That everyone could be given a reason to turn on another. And when Forte said he would take matters into his own hands, I feared for my life. I froze after I slashed at Missy and overtook the dagger. What Cannon saw was only half the story. He didn't appear to have the advantage over me, but it was just a performance for only possible person in the audience. The lights went out.
Darkness! Lyle's gift directed from his fears to you. Only murder will lift the darkness.
What the? Forte and I were plunged into a never-ending darkness, even though I hadn't moved. Couldn't even tell where the floor was. Somehow, he found me. Don't move a muscle. And it seemed he quickly took action to meet the darkness, lifting condition. Finally. Forte had the dagger pointed at my throat. I could feel the chilling cold steel just inches away. Finally. That time had stopped. It was still a stone as the dagger poised for my end. He whispered something so low I thought I'd imagined it. A stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. Ah! Then Forte just fell. When the lights returned, I saw his body lying face up, a small pool of blood from behind his head. And I looked up to see the child ground's walls close subtly, and a Zero hologram with this awful set-aside expression. He made a gesture like he was handling an invisible camera. Zero clued me in on who he was, going to mark as the culprit, even though Zero killed Forte himself. Perfect cover photo. Zero planned to manipulate the outcome of the trial. See the trial plan in my mind. Forte's gun wound would have been the decisive clue. The bullet behind his head probably thought to just be from the falling impact. I couldn't believe it. Faye was killed because of me, and Cannon was going to be framed because of me. The dagger Forte dropped. True culprit was never going to be found. It's going to make the trial easy and direct the blame toward me so the wrong vote and executions following could happen right away. Then we wouldn't have to suffer a long trial. The dreadful game could finally come to an end. After all, it's my fault Forte was pushed to do such a thing himself. Killing is the only answer here. So he was forced into a corner, using me as bait to sacrifice himself to Zero. He went through those lengths for me. Why didn't he just kill me and be done with it? I understand what had happened. So, I thought if I could lead the trial to an incorrect vote, the game would end without me having to do that terrible thing. And we'd be freed from this trap. But Zero saved me. He took you out of harm's path. At least, that's what he thought he was doing. Say it. You knew that he was trying to manipulate the blame off you. So why did you still try to redirect the vote to yourself? Because I have nothing else to look forward to. I ended up here for one reason or another, and all the signs pointed toward my demise. But even after all that, whoever that Zero is, he isn't my friend anymore. And now, I have nothing. Say, you must know by now that we are here for you. Missy's right. We've been trapped. That much is certain. But we're not isolated. We have each other. And together we can help each other build up hope for escape. You don't need to act alone. Kahiko, we both wanted to save someone. You don't truly think this is the answer, do you? You're feeling a trial like this. It's unruly.
Kahiko isn't here anymore. Since giving himself up to the game, his consciousness has been long gone. Being so disillusioned by the way his fellow student and ultimates were treated, he dropped everything and let himself be consumed with despair. It's poetic, isn't it? He gave himself up because this game was the only thing he could cling to. It gave him purpose. In fact, Gaia is still holding on to the killing game. Can you truly trust her? After all, she oversaw the game just as I am before you released her, that is. All she did was watch. Watch and let Pandora die. You have no idea the sacrifice I went through. I seethe at the idea that you think I idled and watched her die. Uh-huh. And what have you done since to prevent it? You didn't try to stop her saying like I did you? So, do you think Kaia's on your side? Spouting empty sentiments and rolling over, doing nothing but watching the game carelessly take lives? I'll tell you what. Your friend Gaia here did something very interesting. Don't you dare demonize what I did. Excuse me? I never killed anyone in my game. You, on the other hand, why, you disgust me. I invited you to open the foyer doors so one of those fools could deliver your punishment. They have no reason to trust you after all. There are no rules, save for one. Those who kill should not get away with it. Let me give it one more try. Gaia isn't your friend. Not a chance. She hasn't played this. She's just played this game once before. So I guess she could say, I've played these games before. I've played these games before. She had played the game once before and will do anything to keep herself from losing going forward. And even from the winner's circle, she did what she could to gain the advantage. She's the one who trapped you in the ship. Ship? Even if someone won this game, there would be nowhere to go, completely sealed in, left to die in isolation, confined in these walls. It's crazy, isn't it? In fact, trapping you all may be a ploy for her to kill again. Why not? It'll prove once more that she's deserving to being called an ultimate. You don't understand. I did what I had to do. Oh, of course I don't understand. You're the one giving hope to these people, yet all you've done is cause trouble. Unfortunately for you, I control what occurs in this visitor circle. And I'm using the power to keep Sei safe.
Keep me safe? You should have never brought me here in the first place.
I know. I'm strict. This game is for first. I won the killing game that preceded this one and received the ultimate prize. Prize of a lifetime of suffering.
That's the prize? The prize. With a group of incredibly talented individuals. Should someone defeat their fellow ultimate students to come out on top, their efforts and achievements would be highly prized, wouldn't they? See who come out on top. That was the experiment the Preservation Project was conducting. The project wanted to gather the very best of the best for the sake of the future, as it were. The Spare program has ruined whatever semblance of Akihiko remains, creating the Zero persona. Zero was the false name you ran under in the previous game, after all. It's no surprise to me that it's being used again under the guise of a killing game operator. Despite that, Akihiko's will to protect Sei persists in the Zero memory. Forte must have taken a risk to see whether or not the entity connected to Sei would act. I hardly recognize him anymore. His voice is the same, but... Okay, so I have to keep the freaking freaky Monokuma voice for him and Akihiko to talk to him. I don't know what that is anymore. There's no trace left.
That's right. He's a shell of his former self. The game and all its terrors now inhabit the ultimate radio host. Aki wanted to erase the wrongdoing he committed in his game and...
Ready? 815-165. 815-165-0000. Stop! Hologram crackled in and out. The program was fighting itself right before our very eyes.
Your efforts are wasted.
You gave yourself up to despair, and yet you still try to deliver a signal of hope? You defined your own actions, the very self-preservation actions that saved you in the last game. What happened to selfishness? Ali.
I'll bury you!
The Arbiter was called... we called Zero as fighting itself. Current form and former form trying to make its own actions. That's, Oh, that says despair, doesn't it? What's happening? Conflict you cannot control. At last it's ever prepared. If you cannot just overcome the darkness, the lights shuddered as we watch Zero's fight unfold. The Zero entity fought its way to dominance, greeting us with its haunting grin.
Well, I guess you caught me, eh? Ha! Fine, the jig is up. I won't resist, since I've been thoroughly caught in the action by some triumph of hope or whatever nonsense you have to want to admit. After all, I wouldn't be doing your efforts justice to keep fighting back after you went through so much trouble. It must have been some rotten luck that got you into this one, huh? Or who are you, Echo? I don't know how you, a talentless nobody, managed to realize the trick I pulled off by all accounts. You should have all been executed by now. All went according to my manipulation. Cannon should be a pincushion, and the rest of you should be dropped to incinerator. Although, what's stopping me from letting that happen? I'll execute myself and bring you all with me.
Don't you dare!
It's the last show with your host, Zero, signing off today's cast with eternal dead air.
Well, I'm gonna revive. The lights bloomed violently, oversaturating the trial grounds with a blast of glaring heat. Damn it, no! Tremor tore through the room. The sound of metal creaking filled the halls, and the lights flickered dazingly as she struggled to gain footing. Everyone, get down and cover your head and neck! We all dove to the floor, each quake jolting us to and fro with ease. Thunk. Okay, we're live. Shaking came down to a low rumble, and the ground eventually settled into stillness once more. The lights returned to a dim glow, and the five of us cautiously rose to our feet. Trial grounds are quiet. Where's that bastard? Zero. Lyle leapt to his feet, darting around the trial ground for signs of the Arbiter. Are you alright? Concerned Static filled the hologram as Guy illuminated a room. We're fine, no thanks to you. Sorry, I didn't anticipate the superstructure would have yet buckled under pressure, but seeing as Zero overloaded the systems, the adverse effect of his self-inflicted execution may have sped up the process. What are you talking about? That doesn't explain where you were and why you're never helpful. Lyle, come on, we're all fine, aren't we? I helped Cannon to her feet, as Missy did the same with Say. You okay, Cannon? A little shaky, but I'm in one piece. You're in one piece?
Oh my god, it's Luffy!
Thanks. Missy, Say? We're alright. That is a relief to hear. So, that's it, right? Huh? Zero is gone. Game is over. We're done here, aren't we? So let's get the hell out of here. Hang on. Sure, he's gone, but there are so many unanswered questions. First of all, he said we're on a ship. Even if we get out, we're still stuck, drifting out on sea. If there was a wholly known test... Oh, I almost gave him the Zero voice, my bad. If there was a wholly known testing chamber below us this whole entire time, it's within reason that there's a helm hidden somewhere as well. Guy, isn't it? You said you were responsible for such a thing. Is this true? I will answer your questions in due time. Now, I'd like to ask thank you to all the rest for a spell before coming down to the testing chambers. It's been a long few days for you all. Wait, what? And let you jump ship through a concealed exit passageway where our guard is down? No way. Well, I understand your desire to push forward, but a break would allow us to sort our thoughts. Please, I'm not going anywhere. I will await your arrival. Guy's hologram clips out of the rest of the show lively, while huffs and shrugs as he made his way to the elevator. Looks like that was the end. There was no vote, no execution, just the end. All those years of destruction proved some relief. Wow, that voice crack. There was still so much uncertainty that was lurking before us. I sighed. The rest of us followed Lyle into the elevator, and together we returned to the foyer. Us remaining 5 students left the trial ground in the shadows for good. Five students remain. Why is Lyle lit up? Oh, because they're dead. Okay, I thought the pink ones were alive. My bad. Okay, we're in the Deadly Life of Chapter 4 now. I want to finish the game. Oh my god, it's late. Oh, it is. Oh, it's 9:10, chat. It's 9:10.
Oh my god, it's 9/11!
Lyle, Missy, Cannon, Say, and myself. Only 5 of us remain. Our group, cut brutally in half by the game we were forced to participate in, found its final survivors. In that very same order, we trudged out of the elevator cab and returned to the foyer. I'm going ahead. Don't wait up. I want answers. Okay, I better fess up before all this. Hang on, Lyle. I want to talk to her first, alone. Why? Just need to know why she gave me a talent. How could she know something like that? Something I'm not even aware of. Why me? Please, I need to know what's going on. Alright. But being an ultimate student isn't all it's talked up to be. It's a world of misfortune. I know. Lyle shuffled off toward the foyer door's entryway. The rest of the students stood by as well. It seemed no one else was ready to go down. I wondered what was going through everyone's mind right now. Oh, do we have to? Fine. Say. You okay? I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anyone cared. The only answer I could see was have it all come to an end, once and for all. We died, then we wouldn't have to suffer anymore. It would be an easy way out, but through that suffering, we'll find things to live for as well. I'm sorry again. You don't have to be sorry. I understand it must have been frightening to be alone. I mean, I'm right there with you. But we're not alone now. You have me, Lyle, Missy, and Cannon. Say, turn to me with a gentle smile. Return the small gesture. Be okay. We'll make it out of here soon enough. Strange. When you say it will be okay, it feels like it could be true. But what comes next? I didn't know. I want to see Ashley's father. He had responsibility to tell him what happened to her. And after that? Well, one thing at a time. Let's try to put all of this behind us for now and focus on escaping. Say nodded. Thank you, Echo. Thanks for what? You don't have to, but you care about everyone. See why Ashley wanted to protect you so much. Yeah. Okay, Cannon. Cannon, are you okay? I don't know. Cannon bit her nails, a sullen expression taking over. Maybe it's guilt or something, but everything in me wishes I did actually kill Forte. Why? I don't want to sit with this feeling, the melancholy I'm feeling right now. I always told myself that I was just a specter whenever I took photos. It's just easier to detach myself from the emotion of the subject. Something more tolerable in seeing someone else experience what is occurring in a photo. But it was thanks to you that we found the answer in those awful trials, I guess. You didn't actually kill him with the gunshot. Either, so there's no reason to feel guilty. It's not that simple. I know. You shouldn't wallow in those what-if feelings. What-if feelings. It's too painful to just bottle it up. You helped us out a lot, really. I suppose. I never want to get so involved. I never got the opportunity to do so before all this, but I wanted to apologize properly after I turned your photo down. Don't worry about it. In fact, just forget it. I don't particularly like the photo anyway. No, I shouldn't have been so harsh. Just stuffed my hands in my coat pocket. Huh? Somehow I found the torn photo in my pocket. I lined the two halves together. Here, you should keep it. I know you weren't exactly close with anyone, but... well, I just hope you know we still think of you as a friend. Ken carefully took the two pieces from the inside. Thanks. Let's get out of here alive. Peek. So the game is over. We can only assume Gaia probably knows more about the situation, though. Gives me peace of mind to learn that none of us would perpetuate the mutual killing game that said. She let us very sigh. Even my fortitude has its limits. Say that no one would perpetuate it, but say tried to further the game, didn't she? She went so far as to hurt you. Would you believe me if I said I didn't feel malice in her actions? Huh? Fear is a fiercely powerful tool that shakes us out of our most rational thought. The threat of life strikes the heart of any primal existence, doesn't it? Talk it up to a knee-jerk reaction. I pose a potentially dangerous question that caused Say to react particularly. Remember, she did have the dagger for a period of time before our entering the trial. She could have taken an open opportunity if she was driven by malice. An odd move, but it was her move nonetheless. And my move will be to forget. What moves next for us, do you think? Pondered the question for a minute. No idea. We'll reach land, presumably with Gaia's assistance, and once we're there, a myriad of options are laid before us. We rejoin our family? We make moves to seek out the Preservation Project group? We attempt to find the next of kin for those who died during the game? Future is uncertain. Yeah. We start small. We'll know where to go next, though. Focus our energy on escaping first. I could not have said it better myself. Are you going or what? I'm just saying. I don't know what to expect. I believe Gaia will be willing to talk. That's what you're worried about. She's been isolated in testing chambers for what I imagine must have been a long time. Yeah, but do you think this could have been avoided? No use dwelling on that now. What's done is done. You push forward. Do I have water left? Yes, I do have water left. Epilogue. Burden on our shoulders. Final chapter, chat. The end. Oh, I do not have water left. Epilogue. Let's go. Congratulations. The rest of the class has been eliminated. Thanks to your tireless efforts.
So I did it, eh?
Yes, Zero, you won the ultimate prize. May I ask something? Why did you use an alias?
Isn't it obvious? The game is all about distrust. Fake name to stir up trouble, of course. It was too easy.
See, utilizing that distrust, you earned yourself the final prize, Zero. Or rather, Akihiko Quartz, the ultimate radio host. I did it! The prize is yours. You rightfully won your place and will join your friend in the winner's circle. You will become one of them. Huh? You have become the ultimate prize.
Hold on, what are you talking about?
Join her.
That's Gaia.
This is where she's been? She's been with us, benefiting the world.
That can't be right.
And you'll become another ultimate prize ultimate student alongside her.
No. No, no, no.
Hey, Gaia. Oh, hello, Echo. Tripped into the testing chamber, spotting Gaia hovering over one of the capsules. A look of misery darkened her face. You okay? Gaia sniffled, and she stared at the capsule containing Akiko's body. It was impossible to tell if he was breathing, let alone alive. I'll be fine. I was just recalling something. Where are the others? Oh, they're upstairs. I wanted to talk to you alone. Gaia remained silent, waiting my next sentence. Didn't know where to start. Do you notice my hesitance? And left her place in front of the capsule. She asked for me to sit at the workstation chair as she paced around slowly in front of me. You must have a lot of questions. First, you spare me a moment to share my story. Nodded. Curious to know what possibly led her to this place. Preservation Project's killing game, known as an endeavor to create the ultimate prize. Its trust is to be expected on day one. The roster was always specifically curated to create pairs, testing the bonds between people. The crux of the game relies on broken bonds. Applying pressure and motivation spark the fire. From there, everything following will stoke the flames and catalyze. But seeing as many of you still survived despite the remaining time, I wonder what went differently. Nonetheless, I must say, I am pleased with the results. I realize it's very difficult to find hope in things in the darkest times, especially as when our minds wander, thoughts led astray, distorted by fear. As a cartographer, I create maps of the places on our Earth that are far greater than my own being. The vast plains, pulsing sea, tunneling caves. Search somewhere in the greater picture for an ultimate good beyond my perceived world of existence. It's difficult. I realize Pandora and I are very different. We search within individuals as we search the world. However, we were looking to spark and inspire the same thing, hope. Despair will control your lives. You let the fear and darkness of your heart run amok. If you allow those inklings to escape, thoughts of terror will command the reins. How are we to combat those such intrusions? Well, answers may vary wildly. Nevertheless, there are strategies and resistance. So I must admit something. The very thing that might be plaguing your concerns, your talent, the ultimate memory. Fabricated in an attempt to foil Zero's preconception of the game's participants. My eyes widened. I had no words. The notion of an intangible talent like that was meant to play the part of a placebo in your mind. Talent Zero couldn't have the abilities of. Only one you could measure. I had hoped it would give you a peace of mind. With your worries of not belonging. But memory? Not exactly. You just got the term. If you had the talent pertaining to memory, you would have been properly deemed the ultimate mnemonist. However, the give of such a tile would prompt Zero to test it. I could not allow it. What kind of test would you give him? The most immediately telling test would be speeding cards. You're given a deck of shuffled cards in which you recite back all 52 in exact order as fast as possible. If you were an ultimate student, that fact would have been quickly dashed or proven with one simple test. My counterattack against Zero would have failed. What? That said, I was purposely non-specific in bestowing the ultimate memory upon you. I had hopes I would gel with Cyrus's falsified talent charisma. I admit, it was an interesting decision he made with that one. Wait. Although I had not been speaking, I felt breathless. So, I was just a tool? With the stone dropped in my stomach. No, a tool is a far cry from what I would call you. You exhibited a strength I did not expect. which was the ability to see through Zero's ploy. Strength. More importantly, you saved your fellow students. You are a wild card. Perhaps you do indeed wield a special ability. Maintain your constitution even under immense pressure and stress. Stop! I was shocked into silence at my outburst. I understand you've been through a lot. I really do. But to manipulate me, us, around in this game as pawns, isn't that too cruel? Isn't that action in itself coming just as bad as the people who trapped you here in the first place? Utilizing ultimate students as a means to an end? You are a product of their tests. You should know better than anyone to toy with people's lives. I clenched her hands together. Their eyes fell all into a glazed state. I could see her straining to adjust her thoughts. She blinked slowly and her gaze met mine once again. I apologize. Putting you all through this. It wasn't meant to happen. It's true, I failed to cultivate the hope required to withstand the pressures from the killing game. I failed Aki, in the end. Not that, I just need you to take a step back. People aren't just instruments to be molded for use. As far as I've seen, everyone here, ultimate student notwithstanding, has the potential to inspire hope. Wow. But we won't get anywhere by recklessly pulling strings, nor will we get any results by forcing a result. Gaia was silent and unmoving, as if she was holding her breath. I'm sorry. I never understood Pandora's methods. But I think I see now what she was doing. Her ways of inspiring hope would start small, but would crescendo and grow into something powerful. Why did I not see it until now? It's too late to mourn the past. Perhaps some things are just meant to happen. All we can do is take small steps forward toward the future. Each moment after, Glass sighed and nodded. She was silent once again. Her expression was tight, her head wilted, heavy with regret. Open Zero's thing. He's probably alive. I returned upstairs to give Gaia some time. For a moment, I ushered the others down to the testing chambers. Came back, Gaia was at the back of the workstation, focused on the monitors once more. Missy and Sei lingered through the testing chambers anxiously, looking at the containment units and monitors. Sei stiffened up before Akihiko's unit. Instead of reacting in a way, she remained unmoving. Zero said, "We're on a ship, yeah? So where's the bridge? Let's dock and get the hell out of here once and for all." If we're on a ship, shouldn't the bridge be near the trial grounds? Zero said he didn't say the trial grounds was within a superstructure. HMCS Apothegm is much larger than you've seen. The collection of your rooms were privy to was only within the quarterdeck. There are a number of bridges scattered across the ship. So are there other rooms. I don't care about the other rooms. Just tell us where the navigation station, command center, control room, whatever it is, then we have to steer this thing toward land. We don't die at sea. Zero said you got us into this mess, so you better help us get out of it. Gaia was quiet. She had an apprehensive look in her eyes, but remained typing at the workstation. That is, you will help us, right? Despite what she had gone through, Gaia's intentions were difficult to read. I couldn't tell whether or not she wanted to escape. Guys, directed our attention to several monitors of the images. Can't see a thing in the monitors. What are you showing us? Wait, is that some kind of squid? Well, that only makes sense. We are sailing on the sea. Yeah, but why can't we see anything outside? A feeling of dread froze my body as I gazed at the near black screen. Are we in space? I don't confuse outside because we're at the bottom of the sea. Down, down, down to the bottom of the sea, where our salty friend SpongeBob waits for you and me. Down, down, down. What? What? I scuttled the ship. Did what we believe would be the most beneficial thing for all of us trapped here. Can't be. The atrium and trial grounds have both revealed the changing sky to us throughout the day. Simple glass rejections. The ship is equipped with bleeding edge technology. Come to no surprise, seeing as its engineer is also an ultimate student. And how exactly did you think sinking us all was going to help? What were you really planning? To bring us to our deaths at the bottom of the sea? We've been fooled again! It's nothing like that. This is how I prevented another group of students from falling into the hands of the Preservation Project experiment. Tell us, what is Preservation Project? A gulp. Even after all this time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to truly hear what the project was. Preservation Project, It's a group that provides safe housing for the ultimate students, protecting them from whether it could endanger them from utilizing their talents proper. That's what it is. Between the whispers between the ultimate students outside these walls. However, the truth of the matter is that everything you previously knew of the project is smoke and mirrors. Project activities, safe house, the earthquakes themselves, front for the ultimate student, to create the ultimate student. They're trying to make the ultimate on some freaking I don't remember his name. Hold on. Who is the guy with really long black hair? Danganronpa 2. I don't remember his name. Izuru Kamakura. They're trying to make Izuru Kamakura. From Danganronpa 2. Something of this magnitude and effect would obviously require immense resources. People responsible for taking art under their wing, lobby for the resources necessary to pull this off. The powers that fabricated the scenario are the product of the students, just like ourselves. How is that possible? Thought manipulation. The correct seeds planted, one known as the ultimate psionic, was able to cause distress, pushing students toward the Vision Project's so-called safe house. The reach of their ability required two keys, something visual and something auditory. One of those seeds must have been the letters we all received. There was a distinct watermark at the bottom of the letter. That must have been the visual key. And the auditory key must have been a key's voice casting to project information out. Therefore, the reason why Echo wasn't aware of any of this was because they were experienced exposure to either of the two keys. Speechless. So it was a mistake that it was included in this group after all. But after being here to help everyone, it would be cool to call this a mistake. Lyle and Missy. Whoa! Sorry, I don't know how to talk. Lala and Missy took time with Gaia to survey the setting as we found ourselves in. The ship, HMCS Apothegm, was constructed with the vision of housing ultimate talent students in swaths of great comfort. Preservation Project acquired it soon after its conception as the location for its experiment, a constantly moving location that would be difficult to reach by ordinary means. The conductors of the experiment were situated offshore to prevent the loss of people in their own ranks. The game was to be remotely conducted with a proxy server serving as the host. Zero accompanied that service, offering himself the side of despair after his own win. To combat their puppet strings, Gaia stripped the group of our whereabouts by taking control of the main asset and casting it far beyond their reach. Our underwater demise sat 3,000 meters beneath the pulsing icy pressure of the North Atlantic Ocean. Closest land was the shore of Greenland. Hey, can we go to Greenland? I want to visit for the ice. The situation felt bleak, but Gaia reassured us that somehow she had prepared for this. She ideally wished to be able to save everyone, regardless. Fact of forever was still victory in her eyes. Gaia's unrelenting search through the testing chamber's database revealed little about the Preservation Project group. He was frustrated but determined still. Though she was a winner, there had been others that had been removed from the testing chambers due to poor health or experimentation overextension. Even among the array of winners, she had little company. 6 of us were steeped in thought as Gaia continued employing herself in her search for knowledge. It seemed that nothing damningly confidential was saved at location. Exasperated at the lack of further information on the private group that held her captive, Gaia silently threw up her arms in defeat. We should leave. There's nothing more I can do here. I wish to attack the land site and other subsequent lurking agents. I nodded. Lyle managed to stay patient this long and readied himself in anticipation to aid in proper escape. As he returned again after a short visit to retrieve the personal file Cyrus had, Cannon was still as ever. We stood to exit the testing chamber. They remained lost in thought. What about him? It's clear she didn't know how to address her lost friend, her despair vessel. Gaia paused, her eyes heavy as a dark cast. So denying it, Zero, Hockey, is no longer with us. Voice was stern. Gaia started toward the door without breaking a step. Wait, what is that? We had aboard the escape pod to make a hasty retreat. It is unwise to stay longer than we need to. I know, but you don't feel sad? After all, you're the one who had to stop him. That was my decision. I can no longer take back my actions, can I? Suppose not, but what choice did I have? There are far greater concerns that need to be addressed. Can't be burdened by such feelings. Not when there's so much to be done. Gaia, I know you want to push forward, but why not take a step back and let yourself feel those feelings? I mean, you didn't seem like the kind of to wallow in emotion, but it couldn't be good to acknowledge the fact that you've been trapped here without help. Now we can help you. At least I want to. I myself must atone for my mistakes. I can't stop just because I regret my actions. Jaw clenched as the words escaped her through gnashed teeth. Who was Akiko? Gaia's eyes softened and her shoulders fell slack as she let out a slow sigh. Just like all the others we lost. He was a friend. A piece of me now gone missing. Parts of me been carved out. Parts that Pandora called her sister. And the parts that Akihiko called his friend. Those pieces of me no longer exist. Death owns those memories. He is glassed over in a deep oblivion. Gaia. It's a dreadful thing I forced you all into. No one else is meant to bear these horrible experiences except me. I shouldn't have to fight through these feelings alone. My responsibility due to my failure. Shouldn't I be the sole recipient of such consequences? How was it despair destroy me first? To prevent I was able to command its damage. Singularly to one and none other. Gaia, all your efforts would be meaningless if you let yourself be killed before making any change. Indeed, such a loss would be absurd if you didn't make a significant move to stop the project that had apprehended you so. And, well, I don't know what it means to you, but I still have this. So he produced a small golden disc. So don't let despair consume you yet. We're depending on you, just as much as you can depend on us. The room was still. I could hear the blood pumping in my ears as Gaia pondered her purpose. Of course. Vive la guerre éternelle. I don't know what that meant. Probably didn't say that right. Leaving the testing chamber, Gaia led us to the elevator, sailing to the impermanently opposite side of the elevator cab doors opened to put a long, dark hallway. 6 of us trudged through the industrial hallways in hushed conversation. Gaia led the way. I followed close, and everyone else was bunched together behind. As if they were still unsure whether Gaia was trustworthy or not. Gaia, I have to know something. How did you nurse Ashley back to health just before her execution? You have to have known that she was the culprit, right? I didn't wish to leave you two on poor terms. What? I observed, if I recall correctly, you and Ashley were on little speaking terms just before she went to confront Cyrus. Yeah, but it was clear to me that Ashley was powerfully driven, that nothing would stop her when she set her mind onto something. And that something, in this case... Whoa! There's something in the back of my throat. Dying. And that something in this case was putting your well-being above her own. Why she did that, I of course cannot say. You ought to know better than I. I do. Soften the blow of the inevitable. Tried in all earnest to bring her back. See a familiar face one more time. Always seems to stretch forever. Echo. You were all quite brave. Brave? Past age tall against the face of much anguish. What are you talking about? I'm not brave. I'm just trying to fend off those awful feelings. Can't stop thinking about what Ashley did for me. Would it not be easier to cast away the memories of those past? Forgetting what happened here would be depriving them of their last memory. I let out a pathetic scoff. Isn't it weaker to cling to outcomes that we can't change anymore? I wouldn't go that far. Back remains, Pandora was inspired. She saw something special about you. That's so. Like a candle. Small flame creates a vignette of salvation to cut through darkness, all while steadily burning their wax bodies away. That said, the next torch awaits, even the slightest bit of fire. Turn the corner and we were met with a hatched door. Climbed to the escape pod. Danganronpa Lapse. Arturo Campapiano, Pandora Espier, Sai Kano, Clown Ota, Forte Solo, Tire Cirque, Lal Termina, Missy Vesper, Ashley Westbridge, Akiko Quartz, Gaia Espier, and Echo Pine. Developed by Mythridate. Music was by Masafumi Takada. Sound was by Masanori Hikichi. Danganronpa by Kazutaka Kodaka. Made with Renpai. Finn. Is there more? Yeah, there's more. Finn, you liar. The low drone of ocean water rolling against the outer walls filled the escape capsule, causing our small group to fall silent and tense. How long has it been? 44 minutes? Felt like an eternity had passed. They made an inquisitive murmur as she relayed the time, gazing at one of her wristwatches. Simultaneously caught a glimpse at the killing game bracelet. Turned the chain around and noticed mine was the same. Rather than reflect the previous rose gold, her bracelets turned to a pure bright yellow gold. It seems to notate victory for the game. No one saw my desire to make small talk during resurfacing, as if conversation would distract our escape. Exhaustion hung on everyone's faces. Ace. Apprehensive eyes cast a dark shadow across the metal interior. Missy let out a sharp gasp. Hey, are you okay? It was alerted that Missy began to shake, her breathing broken. She looked like she was in pain. Oh no. Oh no? What's wrong? Rhoda started reacting soothingly. My head's killing. No, please no. What's going on? Not this again. I was horrified. Everyone was suffering right before my eyes. As soon as their pain began, they all fell still. No way. Grabbed Canada by the shoulders and shook her firmly. Heard a small breath escape. I looked at the others so that they were, fortunately, still breathing. They're okay. This is doing with psionic. Their adverse reactions mirrors the events that took place when they were captured in the first place. We've been trapped. Huh? How? Not sure. The Preservation Project must be pursuing their wrecked ship. Sierra must have sent a radio signal to the land site before it stopped them. But how are you alright? They must assume I'm dead. Regrettable assumption for them. I was speechless. Just when I thought it was over, a new complication threw itself before our escape. And me? I looked at me with raised eyebrows. Surprised. You're lucky. Ken and Lau, Missy, and Say were all unresponsive state. Seems they were rendered unconscious. So what now? There's nothing we can do to stop whoever is waiting our arrival from discovering us. Just gonna have to resurface and see what happens from there. Prepare yourself. Prepare myself? Be ready for whatever happens. Do not be idle when we're discovered. It's inevitable. Best thing we can do is be prepared. I nodded. It's true. We were going to be helpless to take action until we got out of the escape pod. Steadied my breath and closed my eyes. Sound of rolling water filled my thoughts. And I racked my brain thinking about the evening. We're back at the beginning. Alright, thanks for the lift. Be careful with your ankle. I can't believe you insisted on driving even with the rope it's broken. It's no problem at all. Besides, my ankle is almost done healing, so it's no big deal. It's not like I drive with that foot anyway. Just worried since I can't walk you to the door. I wanted to see Applejack if Applejack was in a petting mood tonight. My house is right there. You don't need to worry. If she is, I'll make sure to give that kitty good scratching for you. Alright, thanks. Night, Ash. Good night, Echo. Her porch light hasn't turned on. Usually turns it on for a minute, so I know she had been in a bit. I should go out and see what's on. Ow. Oh, there it is. Well, I want to get back. Westbridge Stables. Hello, sir. It's Echo. I was just calling to see if Ashley's got okay. I couldn't reach her cell. Oh, Echo, she's just fine. I believe she's busy with a small matter at the moment, but nothing to worry about. Oh, could I ask what's wrong? Nothing is wrong. Nothing at all. It's all very good news. She was approached by a gentleman who was responding to an inquiry in regard to her horseback riding. Fantastic opportunity, that one. I wasn't aware she signed herself up for such a prestigious thing. I'm told that pro golfer Campopiano fella was going to be there. See, that's great to hear. I'm absolutely chuffed. My girl is off to do great things, I tell you. It's a winding process, as I'm told, so it'll be a while yet before she'll be able to spare the time. See, please wish her luck for me. I'll have to give her a call back when she's free to tell her all about it. Will do. I'm sure she'll be over to the moon. Talking your ear off when all the formalities have been taken care of. And Echo? I'm happy Ashley has a friend like you. Thank you for taking care of her. Not a problem. It's the least I can do. Thank you for playing. Can't be it, can it? Oh, that's it. We only have one of the bad endings, though. I don't know where the other bad ending would be. Because there's another ending slot here, is there not? Yeah, we know. You're alive, you're alive. You sadly died. You're alive, you're alive, you're alive. But I don't know how to deal with it. Oh wait, oops. I didn't mean to start a new game. Well, chat, there y'all have it. Danganronpa Lapse is officially done. This was an amazing Danganronpa fan game. And it was full of surprises. It was full of insane things. Last to be told, I'm going to tweak. So if you guys enjoyed the final episode, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter at Stopper8, join the Discord, link is in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.